Hello, everybody, and good morning. How are you? Hope you're having a good day. So, thanks to everyone who came out to my tarot live last night. Had a lot of fun. And while I was doing my tarot live, I made mention that I'm doing another retro video today. And I mentioned it in the tarot live because this retro react, it's going to be all about Chantal's addictions. And I told people in the tarot live that if you're someone that you've dealt with addiction, maybe talk of addiction would trigger you in some way, to please not watch this video, because I certainly don't want to trigger anyone. So that's the focus of today's video: addiction. Because Chantal has many addictions. She's got an addiction for attention. Believe it or not, that is her number one addiction, which basically connects to all her other addictions. She's got an addiction for men. She has an addiction for party favors. She's got an addiction for food. All of her addictions connect to each other and are woven together. And you can't talk about Chantal without talking about addiction, because addiction's been a very big part of her life and plays into what she does on YouTube, and has been going on for many, many years. And I feel that when she resurfaces again in Canada, that we're going to see a lot of her addictions on full display. Not a single one of them are in recovery. She has not received therapy or help for any of them. And when you have addictions and you don't receive therapy or help and you're not in recovery, the addictions continue. So I've gathered up a lot of clips. I will let you guys know that I am not going to show her clips indulging in anything, just words out of her own mouth about her addictions. And also, we're going to discuss the Chantal cycle, because that is a thing. And I will show you the different pictures that people have made pertaining to the Chantal cycle. We also got some stuff on Twitter, and we can go over that too. So I hope you guys are ready for this react video. So how about we just jump into it? It is time for the Twitter peeps. Now, there's not a lot of stuff to go over with the Twitter peeps. There is some stuff, though, of note. And something surprising that I found when I was looking for different videos to put together in a react video of Chantal. I was looking for videos that specifically where she was speaking about her problems. I ran across something that made me go, what? So a little bit of news for those who are interested. One of Chantal's feedies actually went on a panel like yesterday. And who is this feeding? Life with Ron, aka Sofa King. Yes, he actually got on a panel and admitted that he is Sofa King. So he was on a panel and confessing, yeah, I gave her money for pizza and all that. So one of her feedies actually got on a panel and said, yeah, is it Life with Ron or Life by Ron? Confessing that he's Sofa King. But I've known that for a while, but a lot of people didn't. But that happened. Yeah. So how about we get to the rest of the peeps? All right. So for those of you that are on Twitter, that you would like to follow me on Twitter, there's my handle, Wild Girl Sarah. And for those of you that are not on Twitter, that's why I do the peeps, so you guys can keep up with all the stuff going on there. And there's not a lot of stuff to go over this morning, but that's okay, because I got a lot of clips lined up. So how about something positive from Interesting Things, saying she's in heaven. Look at all the babies. And they all want to be loved. I think that's adorable. They're all like, Mom, hold me, play with me, cuddle me. Look. And now y'all see why I can't have more than one cat, because this would happen to me, I feel. All the babies would want to be cuddled and held at once. And it's like, I've only got 2 hands. I already cradled my baby booger. I don't know if I could handle another cat at the same time. But look, Look, the kitties are all like, hold me, hold me, hold me. And this poor woman is struggling. She's like, I already got 2 in my lap. I can't have all 5 of you. That's adorable. And here's something gorgeous from antidepressant content, beautiful brown cats. What breed is this? So striking. Beautiful babies. Caramel colored kitties. Gorgeous. And something nice from Yog saying bird bath. So these birds, the burbs, are having the time of their life. They're just bathing in the water after a rain, and they're getting a bath. All right, here's something nice from Aspire Achieve, the 80-20 principle. The 80-20 principle. Health is 80% eating, 20% exercising. Wealth, 80% habits, 20% math. Talking is 80% listening and 20% speaking. Learning, 80% understanding and 20% reading. Achieving, 80% doing and 20% dreaming. Happiness, 80% purpose and 20% fun. Relationships, 80% giving, 20% receiving. Improving, 80% persistence and 20% ideas. Prioritize the 80% and the rest will fall into place. I like that. So there you go. The 80-20 principle. Have to give that a thought. Sounds like something I could do. Yeesh. What is this? What'd you do now, Foodie? I'm going to watch the clip. Let's see.
These are TMI fat girl facts. Fat girl facts. Things that have, after they've happened, have embarrassed me and had made me say, I need to lose weight, but never do. Sometimes you get things stuck in crevices that, thin people don't have. So, for example, one time I had a Cheeto stuck in my bra. It probably was there all day. I took my bra off, to get busy with my boyfriend, and there was a Cheeto. So I hope he was hungry. One time I also had a...
Okay, you know what? Let me just go on record as saying that I think that 99.999% of the stories she told people were a bunch of BS. She was just making stuff up to get attention, and it worked. So, like, rule number 1, Chantal lies. Well, I don't know what story you're about to tell, Foodie, but I don't believe you. Nope. You can say whatever you want to YouTube, and how are we to know you're going to lie? Well, we know because you're a liar. And there's that. Okay, so that was it for the Twitter peeps. I told you guys it wasn't going to take that long. All right, so before we get into all the different clips, and I'm going to credit each and every one down below in the description because there's a lot of different channels. I was on YouTube looking for clips where she was talking about her problems and her addictions. And again, I'm not showing any mukbangs here. That's not important. Her putting food in her face. No. I looked up something in particular because I think that matters. Okay? So a long time ago, somebody put this together. The Chantal cycle. And they actually, this one, this is the Chantal cycle. Actually, this is like an edited version. Let's see if I can find the real version. Here we go. All right. So this, for those who have never seen this picture, is the Chantal cycle. This was made a long time ago. Back when she was with BB, way before she moved in with Pete, somebody made this. And the amazing thing is that it's still relevant today. It's still... It still applies to her. So what is the Chantal cycle? Okay. So the first part of the cycle is the weight loss attempt. Okay. Weigh in at 360, 370 pounds, calorie counting and or new fad diet, cleanse, fast, detox. Quote, it'll work this time. I know my body. forgetting all the times she failed at this exact same diet in the past. 30-minute videos lecturing her viewers on pseudosciences she read from shady websites. Soft-spoken healthy grocery hauls and mukbangs. Quote, BB will eat the rest of this. Gym vlogs and fantasies about being 120 pounds. So that is stage 1. Stage 2 is the breakdown. A community section purge, video admitting she failed the diet and has been having B moments off camera, blaming everyone else for her own actions. I have B eating disorder. Could a rug addict take rugs in moderation? Everyone expects my journey to be perfect. I was happier in 2017 filming mukbangs. Long late night rants complaining about haters. Talks about disabling comments if they don't start pandering to her. So that was stage 2. Stage 3 is the BINGO part of the cycle. Comments and video ratings disabled. Quote, this isn't a weight loss channel anymore. I'm done with diets. Forgetting she's nearing diabetes and immobility. Regular fast food mukbangs and off-camera B moments. Quote, I can film mukbangs and still lose weight. I'll just count the calories. Drop in subscriber and view counts. My loyal followers will always stick with me. I don't care. Stop involving me in drama, even though she's the one involving herself. So that was stage 3. Stage 4 is the awakening. Emotional video involving crying, admitting she can't go on like this. Comments are re-enabled. Soft and vulnerable tone of voice. I'm going through a lot right now. Apologizing to people she attacked and hurt. Admitting it was wrong to go back to filming mukbangs while dealing with BED. Talks of getting professional help and therapy. I'm not going to give up on myself. Plans of starting a new diet. So there's the graph right there. And again, this was made back when she was with BB, so like a while ago, and she's still following it today. But there's another one that I'd like to show you. Somebody else made another one. The Chantal cycle. Stage 1 B's, mania. Chantal is energized. She's ready to tackle life, and she wants support from her viewers. Stage 2 is the pout and the slump. Somebody upsets her, so she I can't talk this morning, I need my coffee. Manipulatively pouts to evoke sympathy for butt pats and super chats. Stage 3 is the rage, defiance. Chantal takes her anger out on her viewers. She makes a threat about leaving YouTube and whatever country she's in. Stage 4 is rebrand, metamorphosis. She emerges after a break feeling renewed and determined, which is represented by her new banner name picture. Can anybody deny that these two graphs are off? They all of this applies. This is so her. So as you can see, if you are around Chantal, like if you're a viewer, if you're a subscriber, she literally takes you in a circle over and over and over and over and over and over again. And there's no change. There's no real positive change. There's a whole lot of excuses. There's a whole lot of empty promises of I'm going to get better, I'm going to be better. But in all seriousness, I ask you, I present the question to you. If someone has a problem with food, a literal addiction to food, and they have a YouTube channel where the channel is all about food, and the addict in question talks endlessly about food, and then they have a chat where people are endlessly talking about food and asking when the next mukbang's gonna be. And then there's also the feedies in the audience that encourage her to eat food, and they will actually pay for her to eat food. If she's a food addict, and she is, how is that supposed to get better if she's created an environment, an arena where she will never run out of money, or people that have the food fetish that egg her on to eat? You can't heal in the same environment that you hurt in. And I'm not entirely blaming the Beezers for her food habit. Her food habit was going on well before YouTube. It didn't start on YouTube. It's just that when she got on YouTube, she found the perfect toxic forum to indulge in her food addiction and find people that would fund it for her. Here's my opinion. I think that when Chantal comes on camera, when she indulges in the food, what she's doing is self-harm content. Truly, it's self-harm content. She's over 500 pounds. She's incredibly unhealthy, a myriad of health problems. She's lost a lot of her mobility, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, diabetes, enlarged heart. She has a heart arrhythmia. Her kidneys are messed up. Her bladder's messed up. She has non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And there might be a lot of other things going on. And her health is her concern. She should be the one taking care of it. But long ago, Chantal created an environment, this toxic machine, to keep all of her addictions fed and to keep them going. And unfortunately, it's been working. You know, and in a lot of cases, when people have extreme addictions, at some point they lose everything, they run out of money. But Chantal has an environment on YouTube where she's essentially never going to run out of money, because people are very eager to give her money. And once they give her money, she uses them to fund all of her addictions. And like I said, they're all interconnected. So when Chantal comes back, we're going to see a lot of her addictions on full display. I have no doubt she's going to come on camera intoxicated or under the influence. We're going to see her eating a lot of food, a lot, which is a problem because now you can report mukbangs and such. So I don't think she's going to be doing a whole lot of eating, probably doing a lot of her eating off camera. But I'm just getting y'all geared up because she's coming back to Canada, and she's not in recovery for any of her addictions, and they're only going to amp up and get worse, much, much, much worse. So how about we just start with the first clip that I've gathered up here. Let's see. I'm trying to find the right one. No, that's not it. There we go. All right, so this clip is from Hot Wasabi, so credit to Hot Wasabi. Context, we need context here. We need to know the timeline. This was Chantal back near the beginning of her channel, when she was still with BB. Okay, just so you're aware, this was before she moved in with Pete's in the villa. She did this clip, and this is her talking about her problem with food. Actually, you know what? We're part of this clip is the current Chantal, but I want to go backwards first. I want to show how she was then and her talking about it then. Okay? Okay. So y'all ready? Let's do this.
Hey guys, I know you're gonna look. If I was I am a YouTube viewer. I wouldn't watch me either at this point, because I know I probably look absolutely insane, and you know what? I probably am. I probably am. I feel so distant from my own brain. So here's the deal. I had a talk with BB about all this, and he offered to come to the hospital with me if I needed to, which I know a lot of you don't think that I'm in a loving relationship. I hate hate even addressing that because I know being a YouTuber, people are going to make up all kinds of ridiculous rumors, but he's always there for me whenever I have a medical issue or I'm in trouble. That's why I want to marry the man, because honestly, he's my rock. If I was with somebody else like me, I need someone like him to keep me grounded, seriously. Well, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I think that a part of me, a lot of the times, still in denial about having an eating disorder.
Can I just say this about the relationship that she had with BB? This addiction that Chantal has with food. She's done other videos where she confessed that she's had this food addiction since she was very, very, very young, for pretty much 3/4 of her life. You know, if addiction goes on that long, you need professional help, period, full stop. Just getting with a partner, what can they do? This extreme addiction is well over their head. As a matter of fact, it's over Chantal's head. That's why she needs professional help. That's why she needs to go into an inpatient facility if she's going to get help at all, because she's not going to be able to stop on her own. BB was a decent, hardworking man, but what could he do in the face of addiction? Addiction is nearly consumed Chantal. All she cares about anymore is satisfying all those addictions, or at least trying to. But here's the thing. Addiction is never satisfied. There's never going to be a moment in an active addict's life where you say, I've had enough today. No, addiction always wants more. And the habit grows and grows and grows until you are absolutely consumed with just doing whatever it is you're addicted to. And then things in your life suffer. And then the people around you, they suffer too, because it's not just the addict that suffers. It's the family, it's the friends, it's the coworkers, the people that feel helpless in the face of addiction. They feel helpless. They can't do anything. They can't make it stop. They can't make it go away. So Chantal's food addiction has been a serious thing for many, many years. And despite the fact that there's help out there, there's all kinds of help, she's never reached out for the help. And when she got on YouTube, she found a place where she could do mukbangs. And then the Foodie fetish people gathered around her, gave her praise, gave her money, sent her things, sent her food, because it satisfied their interests. So they gravitated towards her because she had this food problem and it played into their fetish. And as long as she's on YouTube and she's got a YouTube channel and she's able to make money, and there are people on her channel talking about food, and she's got the Foodies paying for private content off of YouTube and giving her money to continue like it, she's never, ever going to get healthy. Never.
Have you ever been diagnosed with an eating disorder? Well, I think I told you guys when I went to see the diet doctor, the weight loss doctor, he did a consultation with me, a good hour. He was like, oh, you have an eating disorder. And he's like, I want to refer you to the eating disorder clinic. And when I told him that my GP already did that, that's when he was like, okay, that's good. And he wanted to prescribe me something in the meantime to get the edge off until I can get in, because there's a wait list. And that's why I wanted to go to the hospital and tell them, look, I'm eating myself to death. And I watched my 600-pound life last night, and Kelly is the person that was in that, and you know, God rest her soul. Unfortunately, her heart gave out and she passed away. That episode serves as such a wake-up call, hopefully, for a lot of people that are in the same boat, and I'm one of them. I mean, I was bawling at the end of that episode. She was doing so well. Sometimes it's just too late. Sometimes it's too late to turn your life around. Sometimes there's no going back. You've done too much damage to your body already, and it's just too late. That being said, I don't know what I was thinking that I could do mukbangs the way I've been doing them with the trigger food.
You can't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you have a problem with food, you cannot come on camera and do that food content. No, no, no. You cannot take what's wrong with you and give it a job. You can't monetize your problem. Problems like that are meant to be healed. They are meant to be helped. And you're not going to get that help on YouTube. No one on YouTube can help you. You're going to need to go to a professional or a place that can help you. Simply coming on YouTube and going to your Beezers and asking advice, not a single person in the audience is a doctor or a trained professional. And even if they were, there'd be a conflict of interest. Foodie is no one's patient. She needs to go to someone that knows what they're doing, knows what they're talking about, and can treat her as a patient who is not a fan. And they can give like that objective of, you're my patient and I'm treating you as my patient, and there's no favoritism here, and I'm not going to sugar talk anything. I'm just going to tell you what you need to do. Chantal's been to many doctors over the years, hasn't listened to a single one of them. They give her the outline of what she needs to do, and yet she doesn't follow what the doctors say. She doesn't take their advice into consideration. She thinks that she has all the answers. She can simply read a book or do a crash diet, and that will fix everything. Well, it's been years, and she's not healed herself. She doesn't have the ability to heal herself. What she's got to do is simply say to the universe, I'm in over my head. She's got to admit that she's in over her head and reach for the help, because she is an out of control person with her addictions and will stay that way until somebody else takes the driver's seat for a while, because the way she's driving, she's out of control.
And I know that's what I'm saying. I know people are going, duh, hello, you're so fucking frustrating because we've been screaming that and you've been blocking us. When I have an idea in my head, I'm very stubborn and it's not a good thing. I was just like so gung-ho that I could make this work, and you know, thinking that I would have the discipline to eat 4 pieces of pizza, which I did, and I shot the rest out. And it was wasting, but at the same time, it was risky, you know? I shot it out and I just got back from a major binge. I went to Wild Wing. I had 8 boneless wings, an order of fries, and a huge piece of Reese's cheesecake. And that's after the pizza, I steamed these king crab legs and I ate them all.
And I also want to point out, this was back in the time when she was still in the 300s with BB. And she's gained at least 200 pounds. I feel that Chantal is well over 500 pounds. She's got a lot more health problems now than she did then. And her appetite for food has grown. The food addiction has grown well past all this. I don't know what she was eating here in this moment, like what she's talking about, but her food addiction has progressed and gotten into just ridiculous levels. Hence the reason why she needs help.
I have no control. I just don't.
Nope.
My depression is really bad. It's not better since being on this medication. I thought it would.
And if you are in the throes of addiction, you convince yourself, I can stop anytime. I've got it under control. I'm in control of it. Meanwhile, it has control of you. Chantal's food addiction has full control of her. And I think now she's at a point with herself, with her health, that she's just given up. Like, that's the energy that she has now. I've given up. It's far too late. I can't make any changes. I've gone too far. And that's why she's not bothering. Here, she's still thinking, I've got control of it. I can fix myself. But you can't fix yourself. And now she's just like, why even bother?
Would be. I still feel maybe I need to be on different medication. I don't know. So my problem with the mukbangs.
And that's another problem she has. She thinks that she can just take a pill or take a shot or read a book or follow some crash diet or do a water fast, and that's going to fix the addiction. Poof, it's going to be gone. No. 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 Therapy is what's going to help you, because it's not your stomach that's the problem, Chantal. It just has a job to do. You put food in it and it digests it, and then it passes on through. The stomach has never been the problem. It's what's up here. Whatever emotional anchors, whatever issues, whatever this or that wrapped up with food, it's a mental, emotional thing. And that takes therapy to get through all that, to understand it, to face it, to have an awareness about what might be triggering you to eat. You got to go through all of it, and it's not going to be nice if you do it. You're not going to feel good. It's going to suck, but it's worthwhile. The reward is you understand yourself better, and you can get more control on top of something that's controlling you. But you've never done the therapy. You've always resisted the therapy. You tried to use YouTube as your therapy. You don't want to go into a therapy session and pay someone to sit in a room alone without a camera running and talk to you and give you honest thoughts and opinions and advice and help you with getting a blueprint going that you can fix yourself. No, you want to monetize your hurts. You want to exploit your hurts. You want to exploit your pain. And you certainly want to exploit your addictions, because your addictions make you money. You know I'm telling the truth. You know I am. You brought your addictions to YouTube, and you made money with every single one of them. You gave them all a job, and you made them clock in and clock out for content. And because they make you money, you're not going to treat them. You're going to let them continue. You're going to let them grow. You're going to let them expand, because that's just more content for this platform. That's just another YouTube paycheck. You're at the point now where you've traded pretty much 100% of your health for a series of paychecks and for attention. But you're at the point also, Chantal, where you don't have much health left. You ain't got nothing else to bargain or trade with.
Is for me as a food addict, because most people who do them, they're not food addicts like I am or have an eating disorder. Whenever I first started doing, I always use that as a defense. When I first started doing my channel, I was doing mukbangs, but most people didn't know about my situation and a lot about my life at that time. Now people do, and it's probably hard for them to watch mukbangs from somebody knowing.
And Chantal, you flip-flopped. You like to play all sides of the fence, which I find disturbing. You want to come on YouTube and talk about struggles with BED. By the way, y'all, it is possible to be a food addict and not have BED. I question if Chantal truly has BED. Why? Because a lot of people who have BED, when they have their B moments, there's an element of shame and embarrassment. You do it in private. You don't show it to people. And yet Chantal shows hers off. So I could be wrong. She could have BED. It's just highly unusual that she comes on YouTube and she talks about having it, but yet there's no sense of like trying to hide it. She wants to just showcase it. But I do believe she's a food addict, though, an extreme food addict, monetizing her problem.
That they suffer from an eating disorder. So I understand that it's such a mess. On top of that,
like she monetizes the fact that she has BED, and then she hops to the other side of the fence of like, I'm going to do mukbangs. I don't care what y'all say. So it's like she's trying to play both sides of the fence. She's trying to gather people to her that have had addiction issues or maybe have dealt with BED or some kind of food problem. And then she hops to the other side where she does her mukbangs and she's gathering her feedies to her, playing all the sides of the fence.
my biggest problem with mukbangs, for me, that's one of the major issues. But another one is I was thinking, what kind of message am I giving to other people with my channel? I feel like by doing the unhealthy mukbangs, eating loads of junk, I'm giving a message that's kind of promoting disordered eating, because
it is. It is. It is. You're promoting it, you're monetizing it, and you turned your channel into basically an adult fetish channel. And the kind of eating you're doing is an adult fetish. But you knew that. You monetized that. You promoted that. You exploited that. And you looked for those guys that had the food fetish, that could send you the super chats, that would pay you for private content. I remember back when you were at the villa, you got sent stuff from your feedies, tons of Amazon things. And I also remember you doing content on YouTube where you're pretty much almost admitting about the feedies. Y'all remember the Lakma fairy? One of her feedies sent her a bunch of Lakmas, and there was an entire month where she ate paneer. I bet a feedie was involved with that too. There's a lot of things she did that were feedie related, but we'll save that for another time.
That's not normal, it's not healthy, and it is hazardous to the health. So that really kind of bothered me, and you're thinking, duh, again. But I actually hadn't thought about that aspect of it. That's definitely something that bothers me. I don't want to be known for that.
And here we are, and you are known for that. You are known for that. And here's the crazy thing, Chantal. By doing the content that you've been doing revolving around food, you painted yourself into a corner. And it all caught up with you. By being known for eating excessive amounts of food, which takes a toll on your body, you painted yourself in the corner of, okay, this is what I'm known for, and people are coming to me for that kind of content. You had to know at some point it was going to catch up with you, and it has. That's your audience. A lot of them, not all of them, a great deal. The crazy thing is that you could have gone the other way. You're on YouTube. You could have gotten your health together a long time ago and gotten a whole different kind of audience that supported your health. But you didn't do that. You just basically hurt your own body, and now you're at a point where it is barely functioning anymore.
Honestly, when it comes to mukbangs, it's the appeal that I can eat what I want and make more money doing it. Seriously, if I'm honest.
And she has said many times the reason why she does the mukbangs and the food content is that it's easy. She thought she was so smart getting on YouTube and, ooh, I can make a channel and get a lot of people and make a lot of money, and all I have to do is sit down and eat food. Well, I love to eat food anyway, so this is a win-win. I get to eat food, and I get paid for it, and I get attention. I get fans based off of that. Are you still thinking that was a smart decision, Chantal? I don't think you are. It's not smart. It's actually quite stupid.
It's not so much more money that it is worth doing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make healthier recipes and meals, healthier choices.
Here we go.
Try to do the doctor's plan because I still have my appointment.
Here's the problem. When you have food addiction, okay, here's the problem. If you got a problem with food, if you've got habits and rituals that revolve around food, rituals and habits that have been going on for a long time, habits are hard to break. You have to make new habits to replace the old habits. So she's got rituals and habits revolving around food. She wraps her emotions around food. Food is a very emotional thing for Foodie. Always has been. She's got huge emotional anchors attached to food. You have to know that's true if she's gone so far as to do actual fast food funerals on YouTube. Clearly, if she's doing funerals for fast food, it's an emotional thing for her because funerals usually apply to people and a feeling of mourning or loss. She's treating food the way you would treat people. So there's some emotional issues going on there. And that is heavy. It's her best friend. It's her love. She's had an ongoing relationship with food, and it is dominating her. She's let it dominate her. That's why she needs help.
Next week. There's still time to get back on it and turn it around.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you have issues, you got a food issue, just going to the gym is not going to fix it. That'll help the body get back together if, say, you've gained weight, but you got to fix the mind. You can't leave the mind out. You can't leave the therapy out. You have to see someone and talk to someone and help them work through your issues. You can't leave that out because that is the root of the problem. The body needs to be fixed too, but the mind needs to be fixed more. And that's why she's doomed to fail. Whatever crash diet, whatever health food plan, you got to fix the mind problem as well as the body problem.
I don't want to cry on camera and try to get sympathy. I'm just honestly just going through so much right now. I don't even know what to do. I just feel like inside I'm screaming for help, and I just feel like I'm just so tired. I'm honestly so tired. So tomorrow I think I'm gonna call the weight loss doctor guy and see if he can forward a prescription for like Vyvanse or Topamax. And I'm gonna call my GP and see if he can urgently get me in somewhere.
Any medication you receive, anything that you're given, it's just a tool. And those are helpful tools. They're good tools. But you got to do the rest of the work. You can't rely on a pill or a shot to do all the work for you. You've got to do the follow through. She never did.
To help with my eating disorder, because until I do that, I just feel like my depression, my mental state is just not going to improve. And honestly, when you're like this, obviously it's not helping. Sorry. I know these things are very personal, and especially with the amount of trolls and haters and reaction channels that are just going to feed on this type of video, I probably shouldn't be sharing that stuff, but in the end, sorry, I'm going to pick my nose. In the end, I feel it's like the right thing to do. So
I have a serious question to ask you, Foodie. Woman to woman, former food addict to current food addict. Do you want help, or do you want the attention of appearing that you want help? Because there's a difference here between somebody who truly wants help and they're ready, and someone who's just acting like they are in distress and they want help. And for any beezers who might be watching this video, just something to take note of. Some of you that are on her side of the fence, that are subscribers, that are viewers, that might watch my videos, just something of note. Some of you may mean well. You want her to get healthy. But, and this is a very important but, she's got to want it for herself first. She could have a whole team of doctors around her. She could have Dr. Now working for free round the clock to help her. She could have doctors and therapists and psychotherapists and addiction counselors all working for free. She could have a whole football team of people at the ready to give her help. But until she's ready, ain't nothing gonna change. And this may seem negative for me to say, but I'm just being honest. I've been watching Chantal for years. I have yet to see the inner battle. And you might be saying, well, you're not going to see that. But there will be signs that it's going on. I have yet to see a single moment from Chantal where she's coming on camera and she's clearly fighting against that addiction. Where she's like, well, I don't know, what did I just do? Like, I ate all this food, doggone it, and I didn't want to. You know, like, I have yet to hear that from her. I have yet to see signs like she's fighting against it. She's ticked off at it. She's she's wanting to change. She's bucking up against that addiction, and she's really got that battle going on. Like there's no frustration, there's no anger about the addiction. It's all like just giving in. So that tells me she's not ready for change, and more than likely she's given up. She's giving it everything. She's letting it fully consume her. She's always giving into it, and she surrounded herself with people that persuade her to give in. It makes them happy, and she's happy making them happy. Addiction just isn't something that's going on with her. It's so bad that it's literally part of her identity. Foodie beauty. Food isn't just what she consumes. It's literally, she identifies it as part of who she is. And that is bad, y'all. That is bad. When your addiction literally becomes part of your identity and how you make money.
Oh, back to square one. Again, why do I change my mind so much? Because I'm not well. I'm obviously not well. Maybe if I never had a YouTube channel or an audience, I probably wouldn't even notice, because I've gone my whole life not thinking about having an eating disorder or anything like that, you know? I know a lot of you want me to enable comments, but just for now.
You can't heal in the same environment that you hurt in. Hence the reason when you have an addiction, when you're ready to get better, you have to change everything. You might have to stop being around people that you're normally around that might trigger you to do your addiction. You might have to change the places that you go, the things that you do. You've got to find new to replace the old that might be toxic. And yet she's in the same environment where there's triggering talk of food. People are asking her about food, saying, when's the next mukbang? You got the feedies also in that group acting as buddy trolls, giving her money in super chats. You know, you can't heal in the same environment that you hurt in. You can't be around the people that might trigger you. You can't do the habits that might trigger you. You just can't do it. So as long as she's on YouTube, this cycle of destruction and keeping all of the addictions fed, all of them together, it's never going to stop. So that is the first clip from Hot Wasabi, and I believe there's more. And thank you, Hot Wasabi. So where are we going next? Let me see. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go back to that clip. I apologize. I forgot there was a second part of it. Okay. Because I deliberately showed the first part of it. But this is Chantal in current day, back when she was in Kuwait. So she's going to talk about her issues again.
I just realized I'm kind of a mess. It's not anything exciting, but for me in my personal life, it's something anyways. You're gonna be like, who cares? Because most of you probably don't care about this part of my life. You know, the eating video from yesterday brought me to a realization. Well, I had a meeting today. A Overeaters Anonymous, or like, Food Addicts Anonymous. Food Addict Recovery, I think it's what it's called. I had a Zoom meeting, and I think I'm gonna try different ones just to like get, you know, I'm gonna try to go back until I kind of get it. But it was just basically, you know, going through like the steps. And what I like about it is it's faith-based, whereas before when I first went to Overeaters Anonymous, do you guys remember that era? I went to a meeting
and this is why she fails. So she's gonna do a meeting. Again, no follow through, no further meetings. And even if she had kept up with the meetings, how is that going to work? How is that going to be successful? If she's on YouTube and she's got people in her face saying, where's the food? Let's talk about food. It's not going to work. She talked about going to therapy. She never went to therapy. And if she did go to therapy, it was one time and then she just cut it off. Because the therapist is going to tell you things that you don't want to hear. They're going to tell you the truth about yourself, and they're going to make you face yourself. And that's when you're not going to feel nice about it, and you're going to stop.
Kind of never went back, and I got my coin when I was like BB days. I didn't get the faith-based part because I didn't believe in God at the time, really. But I like that it's like really faith-based. also. And there's a lot of people that just like, when I was like seeing everybody, I was like, wow, pretty much everybody that was in that room has been abstinent for like years. So I need to really like pick a start date of commencing like complete abstinence, because I realized like when my, I did that mukbang video at parties, I was like, I don't have control over food. Like food.
And this is years later. You guys just saw the clip where she was back with BB and she confessed, I'm out of control with food. And here we are, present day, years later. She still has no control of food. What do these things have in common? Well, she's had this food issue going on well before YouTube. It continued on YouTube, and it is going to continue on YouTube.
Controls my life. I have no control. Like, I just don't. And I keep failing because I just keep trying to put it all on myself. When it comes to like food is drugs. I'm a junkie. Like with food, I'm a fast food junkie. And I like that.
And that is something that a lot of people struggle with. And I do understand. I do get it. Because when you think of addiction, you think of other substances. You think of pills, you think of shots, you think of powder, you think of chemicals, right? You would never think that food can be as lethal or addictive as something like that. But anything can become addictive. And I mean anything. Anything can become an obsession or an addiction and wreck and ruin your life if you do too much of it and you get consumed by it. The thought of it, the thought of doing it, the thought of having it around, it can just take you over. Food is just as lethal as anything else. Proof positive is her. Her overconsumption of fast food, her overconsumption of food, period. Like, I'm a food addict in recovery. That's what I struggle with. The food addiction kind of snuck up on me because I always thought of addiction as just other things, but not food. You tend to think that food is safe, right? For the most part, it is until you do too much of it and it becomes emotional to you. It took me a long time to get past mine, but that's because I realized I had a problem and I didn't want food to consume me like that. But she's fully aware of the fact that food is a problem and she's not seeking out help. She's not doing the follow through. And here we are.
Food Addicts Anonymous, they treat food like it's an actual drug. Being an addict, and if you're using your substance of choice.
And it can be like a rug because when you eat food, I think Chantal, she loves to feel that dopamine rush. Like as soon as you take that first bite of food, like your brain explodes. She's looking for the brain explosion. Did y'all know that sugar, and I got to use the other name for it, Coca-Cola, but you know what I'm talking about, the powder stuff. They have the same effect on the brain. They excite the brain in the same way. Yeah. Sugar and Coca-Cola are on the same level with how it excites the brain. Yeah. And she loves her sugar. She loves it. She's a high consumer of sugar. So when she's taking a bite of food, she's not really looking to fill up her stomach. She's looking for the high that comes with food.
For a long time, which just happens to be food, which I still can't seem to wrap my mind around, that something we eat and is so common. Like, imagine if you're driving down the street and there's billboards, okay? You know how billboards will advertise the newest, big, juiciest burger at McDonald's. It will advertise the Texas Bites. Imagine that was heroin. Imagine that was Percocet. Imagine they were...
And that's part of the problem because food addiction, it's a legal addiction. Like, who's going to stop you from eating? No one. Your rug of choice is in every supermarket, every convenience store. It's in gas stations. It's everywhere. And there's so many different varieties of everything. You could go into a supermarket and get 10 shopping carts full of ice cream and go to the checkout. The cashier's going to look at you funny, but they're not going to stop you from buying it and taking it home and eating it. It's completely legal and there's food everywhere. And what makes it more complicated is it's how do you stop a problem that you can't stop? Because you have to keep eating for your health. So it's not one of those things you can just, wean yourself off and quit cold turkey. You've got to keep eating. It's just that was the part that I struggled with. How do I stop something that I can't stop doing? And I had to figure it all out. And it took me years, literal years. But she's not looking at it as a problem and figuring out ways to treat the problem. She's looking for ways to monetize the problem and get sympathy for it and profit off of it.
Advertising that kind of stuff. Do you get what I mean? It's food. It's effing food. And I hate so much that I'm addicted to it. I hate so much that I like coming to terms with that, the fact that I could never be normal with this kind of food. Like my brain is already, somebody like who's addicted to drugs, let's say you're addicted to opiates. You have to abstain from it. You could never, ever, ever have another opiate because your brain is already changed to be dependent on that. So any little bit of that drug and you're screwed. That's how it is with me with food. Healthy food? No, of course not, right? Healthy food doesn't make me happy. And that's like,
no, because healthy food doesn't give you that dopamine rush. It's not full of processed sugar. It's not full of all the chemicals that your body is used to. It's not going to give you the same feeling. And of course, the feedies won't pay her or give her money to eat healthy food. That's not what they're into. With the feedies, the more unhealthy, the better. The bigger the quality, the bigger the quantity, the better. The feedies they're not about, healthy fast food mukbangs. They want the unhealthy junk stuff.
That's so messed up. That's just food can make you like happy, can control your life, can have that control over you.
But I want to say something else, Chantal, and this is where you and me are going to have a debate. You're saying I can't control myself. It's over my head. I can't get control. I beg to differ. There are lots of people out there that have problems with food or other things that they're addicted to, and they fought the good fight. And they won. It took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of determination. And yes, those of us that are addicts, you're going to fall off. You might have a moment where you give in, but you know what you do? You get right back on the horse and you keep riding. If you have a bad moment, you get over it as quickly as you can and you get back on the horse and you keep riding. You don't just stay off the horse and go, well, that was a failure. This is hopeless. I'm done here. No, you keep fighting because you're fighting for yourself and you're fighting for your life and you're fighting for your health. You're fighting for a better life where addiction doesn't control you. That's why you keep fighting. We all have failures. Having a failure is normal. You just accept the fact that you had a moment of weakness and you went back. And then once you realize, well, that was bad, you keep fighting. If you have a situation where you got a problem and you have 5 good days and 1 bad day, then you say to yourself, well, at least I have 5 good days. I had a bad day, but I had 5 good days. And you keep fighting. And soon you get 10 good days and maybe 1 bad day. And then you keep fighting. And the next thing you know, you got a whole year where you don't have any bad days. And the quality of your life goes up. And your happiness goes up. And your health goes up. That's what you're fighting for.
I can't control myself around those foods. I don't want to just have moderation when it comes to fast food or chips or cheese. Like even cheese. I'm not going to be able to have cheese because I can eat the whole block. I will die.
Yeah, about that. So for those who don't know and weren't around, Chantal actually had to go to the emergency room when she was with BB because she ate too much cheese. Had to have surgery for that. That's how bad it was. She does have a problem with cheese. She loves cheese. But imagine eating so much cheese that it sends you to the emergency room. Like I said, she's an extreme food addict.
Eventually, if I don't change, like I will. I know I will have to control myself. I can't explain. I don't know how to explain it. I have to completely abstain from foods that I'm severely addicted to and just can't tell myself no.
And now where is Chantal? Chantal's in Canada. She was in the Middle East. She was in Syria. where she didn't have access to all the fast food she loves. And she couldn't just simply pick up her phone and order stuff off of Postmates. So what do you think is going to happen when you take someone who was dry, not recovered, dry from all the things that they are still addicted to, and you drop them back in the place where they have access to everything, to edibles, to fast food, anything she wants? It's a recipe for disaster. She's going to have B moments like no other. And notice I'm not laughing about that. I'm not laughing about that. I don't laugh at addiction. I don't think it's a joke. It's a serious thing. It causes a lot of damage to the person who's the addict and the people who are around the addict. It's destructive behavior. She's going to make herself sick in Canada. Trust and believe that. Not because I'm wishing that upon her, because it's just what's going to hold her back. And there's going to be no one there. Salah's not even going to be there. She's going to eat all the fast food. She's going to eat all the junk food. And worse, and this needs to be noted, I'm sure one of the things she's going to do in Canada are the edibles. And for the record, that's a really bad idea when you're a food addict to do edibles, because all the edibles do is supercharge the food addiction, makes it worse. And she does entirely too much. Back during Crack at Olympics, she would do insane amounts of edibles. She had to, because she chased her tolerance up so high to ridiculous levels that she'd have to do more and more and more and more just to get the effect of it. She started out doing a vape pen. Then she would do like 100 milligrams, which is already a lot. Then 200, then 300 milligrams, then 1,000 milligrams. Eating wheelchair edibles like they were Tic Tacs. And for those who are wondering, what are wheelchair edibles? Those are edibles that are very, very high potency. 1,000 milligrams for one wheelchair edible, that are usually given to people or prescribed to people who have terminal illnesses or in extreme amounts of pain. Chantal would eat those things like Tic Tacs. 1,000 milligrams for an edible, ridiculous. But she did them just to feel something. So you would eat the wheelchair edibles, get greened out, and literally eat for hours. She would have massive B moments because of those doggone edibles. And the feedies in her audience loved it. Oh, they loved it. Seeing her watch her eat 3 or 4 hours at a time, they were enjoying themselves with that.
You have to basically change all of the habits that you were doing that were keeping you comfortable around food. When I'm out of the house.
She's right. She's right. If you want to break away from an addiction, you got to change everything. Just about everything. People, places, habits, rituals, anything that will trigger you. You got to get away from it. You got to stay away. You can't put yourself in the same hurtful environment or be around people that encourage that behavior. You got to build a whole new circle of people around you that reinforce the good behavior and keep you on track, just to keep your mind straight. You can't start a new path while one of your feet is on an old path. It just doesn't work.
I think about food even more. I drive down the street, there's like billboards of all the newest fast food available just up the street. He's agreed to not have any junk food in the house whatsoever. I don't know. I haven't started the whole abstinence thing. I don't even know how I'm gonna do it. I don't even know like if I really want to do it. I have to do it. I think your YouTube channel makes your addiction harder to beat. I don't think so. Because
I think so. I think so. Because you like the attention that you get from eating all that food. You like the fact that the feedies come forward and they give you praise. You love the praise from the feedies. You love that love coming from them. Well, that's toxic love, Chantal.
I don't feel pressured to do, because my channel isn't just a food channel.
It's mostly a food channel. Okay, that's what you're known for. And you're not offering any other kind of content. Okay, this is not an exercise, health, motivation channel. This is This is a self-destruction channel. Let's just call it by its right name.
My food videos get more views, but I think my views stay pretty consistent no matter what I do.
Stop lying. Chantal, I remember back to the beginning part of your channel, because I have done my homework. I've done my research, ma'am. In the beginning, you came on YouTube and you were doing what a lot of other YouTubers do in the beginning. If you're not quite sure what you want to do, then you're doing all kinds of things. And you were doing all kinds of things. You were doing the life vlogs. You were doing the makeup hauls. You were doing the makeup looks. You even did video game playthroughs. That shocked me to find that out, but you did. Layers of Fear, remember that? You played that game. So you're looking for something that would hit. And then you saw the mukbang trend, because that was hot back in the day. And you hopped on the back of the mukbang trend and you started doing the mukbang videos, and you were paying attention to your analytics. Your numbers jumped all the way up. There were more people in your comments, more subscribers, and you're like, aha, I found it. I found the thing that will make me successful on YouTube, and you stuck with it.
Maybe some food videos are higher than others if it's like really like junky. I don't know. It's not like enough to make a big difference. If I was like somebody who just did mukbangs all the time.
If it didn't make that much of a difference, why did you stick with it? If it wasn't that big of a deal, why did you stick with it? Make that make sense.
That would be different. Like Hungry Fat Chick, like she started a health journey and she wasn't getting the views she wanted, so she went back to eating videos. I don't think that my views make that much of a.
Speaking of Hungry Fat Chick, that still makes me sad. She's such a sweet person. Oh, I reacted to her a few times when she was on her health journey, and I was rooting for her, and it just makes me sad that she stopped. I'm really sad about that.
A difference. YouTube can be good for accountability too, but it's also not a place you want to be vulnerable sometimes. He really does try to persuade me to have the healthier food. Like,
again, another person, when they're in the throes of addiction, cannot stop that person who has the addiction. It's over their head. It's over her head. If it's over her head, it's going to be over everybody else's head. She's got to take the first step. She's got to go get professional help. Got to. There's no other way around it. There's no book. There's no diet plan. There's no water fast. There's no nothing that's going to completely fix this problem. This is not a quick fix problem. This is a lifetime commitment to therapy and professional help problem. It is that intense. It is multi-layered. You can't avoid that path, Chantal. You just can't. You can't fix it yourself. If you had the power, you would have did it yourself years ago. But apparently you don't have that power, hence the reason why things the way they are.
Like, you want KFC again, you know, like you just had it. What about your promise? You guys don't hear our conversation.
Chantal, stop bullshitting yourself. Even if you started a health journey, you know what would happen? Your feeders would start contacting you. They would. They'd be like, oh, you're not eating the fast food anymore? Here, we'll pay you a couple $100 to eat some fast food off camera. And you know you do it. You probably have done it. There'd be people in the wings saying, oh, she's on a health journey. Well, we don't like that. We'll give her money to continue being unhealthy because it makes us happy. You worship at the altar of money. And if somebody's giving you money, you're going to give in to whatever it is they want. And especially now, y'all, she needs money and she's desperate. And you don't think those death fat feedies are not going to be approaching her? They will be. They're going to smell the desperation like sharks smell blood in the water, and they're going to come out. And she might give in.
I've been on Ozempic before. Not even that can quell my beast inside of me. Staying at home all the time makes you want to eat more? Probably. I need to find purpose beyond food. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really have any interest at all. Like, I feel like I really just want to not, I don't know, suck up on veggies and fruit. That's what's gonna be the initial really hard part, switching from so much processed food to healthy food. The hardest part, you have to completely remove yourself from a toxic food society where eating toxic foods is encouraged.
You can't really stop society. You can't put yourself in a bubble where you're like, I am just going to avoid society. It's impossible. Because when you step outside the house, you're going to see grocery stores, you're going to see gas stations, you're going to see fast food restaurants. So what do? You can't live in a bubble. You can't avoid society because food is everywhere. It is. You know what you do? You fix your relationship with food. That's the part that I had to learn. You got to fix your relationship with food. You got a toxic relationship with food. You're codependent on food for everything, for companionship, for love, for joy, for amusement. You got to fix that toxic relationship. You can't let it dominate you. You got to repair the relationship. You have to give food the respect that it deserves. You got to realize it's just stuff on a plate. It's not my best friend. It is not my boyfriend. It is not something I should use for a call back to happier times. You got to take all the emotional anchors off of food. And this is really important, Chantal, and pay attention, pay attention. One of your biggest tasks, if you choose to do it, which I don't think you will, since food is your everything, it represents all the positive everything in your life. Your monumental task, your mountainous task, is that you're going to have to find a thing or a set of things that equals the joy and the happiness and the comfort and the love you get from food. Because nature hates a vacuum. So if you take away this toxic thing, which is your everything, you got to replace it with something. And there's a variety of things you can do in life that give you joy and give you happiness that don't hurt you. But since food is your everything, it's like in order to balance what's going on over here, you got to put something over here. So food is your everything. You got to find an activity, a thing, a place. You got to stack it all over here to where there's happiness coming in, there's joy coming in, there's love coming in, to where your need for food goes down. Because if there's all that empty space, the temptation to go back is huge. But you don't want to look for anything else. You don't want to replace food in your life. You want to keep it there. You want to hold it close like a best friend. It ain't your friend.
Everywhere. Even here in Kuwait, I think I read about 60 to 70% of Kuwaitis are addicted to food. It's the fast food culture that's incorporated. It's so...
What did we hear from you when you first went to Kuwait? You were giving us all this nonsense about everybody in Kuwait is obese. What were you thinking? That you were going to go to Kuwait and just fit right in? Guess you found out the hard way that wasn't the case. You didn't fit right in. Were you thinking because you're wearing an abaya and hijab that nobody would notice how super, super morbidly obese you were? That you could just walk down the street and everybody would be like you? Nobody's like you. No. But I don't know. Maybe you thought you'd fit in there, but you didn't.
Addictive. Why else are we not addicted to bananas? Like, I don't give a crap about a banana right now. I'm feeling a bit peckish, but I don't care. I don't want a banana. I want something with sugar. I want something with salt.
Yep. Carb addict. I'll raise my hand. I was a carb addict. Carbs are sugar. Carbs turn into sugar. She is a sugar addict, and man, is it a biatch to get past. You know, it is. Like, love my sugar. I loved the starches, loved them all. That's a pain in the butt to get away from, but it can be done. So don't sit there and tell your viewers it's impossible. Food addiction is impossible to beat. That's nonsense. A lot of people have beaten addiction, and if they can, so can you. You just don't want to. You're making too much money off of it.
Something with fat, you know, my usual stuff. Yeah, home cooked food. Anyway, just food that's not going to make me want to binge on it. And I can just tell when I think of a food how it makes me feel, like excited or just like, oh, I could eat that, you know. But I do need to be more active here. Like, all I have to do is use the treadmill, go out for walks and stuff, you know. I did.
Okay, so you're doing the treadmill and you're exercising. Are you treating your mind? No. And therein lies the problem.
I am being matched with someone, but we'll see how that goes. Make healthy alternatives that don't totally suck. Well, one of the biggest things that I wrote down some notes is that every day before you go to bed at night, take some quiet time. We pray 5 times a day, so I gotta keep.
And speaking of your channel, if you've got 10% of people in your chat that want you to be healthy, want you to be better. They want to see you on a different path. And 90% are in there talking about food, which, by the way, Beezers, maybe you don't mean to trigger Chantal. Maybe you're not thinking of what you're saying and what you're doing. It's not clicking in your head. When you talk to a food addict and you're talking about food, even just saying, yeah, I had spaghetti and meatballs last night, or I'm going to go eat a pizza. You're mentioning food to a food addict, which is going to do what? They're going to start thinking about that food and remembering how it tasted. They're imagining how it tastes in that moment. And that might trigger them to go eat that food. So every single time one of you in there, you mention a food item, she's thinking about that food item, especially if it's something that she's eaten before and it may be tasty, it might be delicious. You're triggering the F out of her. So that when the camera's turned off, she's going to be reaching for food. Trust me, she will. Because that's her rug of choice. That's her number one rug of choice. That's why I yell at y'all over there to shut up. I don't like Chantal. I despise her. But I think it's wrong for people to trigger an addict with the source of their addiction. And I acknowledge that a lot of people just don't automatically think about food being something dangerous or lethal, not on the same level as chemicals, but it is. It is. She overconsumes food. She doesn't need to be triggered. Do you understand? No one needs to be triggering her. But back to what I was saying, if there are 10% of you that want to be healthy, and then the other 90% of the audience are people talking about food, or the people who are food fetish people that are praising her for eating, asking her when she's doing her next mukbang, what chance does she have at health if the majority of the people that are surrounding her are bringing up her addiction to her face and encouraging her to do it? There's not much chance of success for health, is there?
Really keep up with my prayers. Use that as asking, God for help with this journey, but also use that quiet time to plan your meals for the next day, and so that you're not stuck looking for something fast. I need to get organized, diabetes classes. Yeah, I might do that. I can't this weekend, but I might next week look into it. I have a feeling the diabetes classes will be really restrictive, but I have to kind of be, I guess. Well, I'm good. I'm looking for a sponsor, somebody to match with who you can keep in touch with if you're having cravings. Yeah, it sucks. But he does support me a lot. If he's willing to give up all food and be very strict and, do things like that. Look over all of the groceries.
I don't think her food addiction over in Kuwait ever stopped. I think the fact that she was away from a lot of the fast food she liked over in the Middle East, that all it did was slow her down. It did. For a time, it slowed her down, especially in Syria. She was in Syria. She didn't have access to fast food apps. She didn't have access to all the restaurants. It just slowed her down. But here's the scary part. She's back in Canada now. So she was slowed down for a time, but she's going to speed back up.
For approval. Fast food is the devil. It is really shaitan wallah. I'm telling you, it's bad. I don't know, just when I read plant foods, I just got sad a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Food addiction is very negative and isolating. It's very lonely because most people don't understand. That's the thing. I always set unrealistic goals. Weight loss surgery is not possible right now.
No, and that's something she's talked about. Again, weight loss surgery, even if she could get it, is not a fix. Any doctor looking at Chantal would go, nope, we're not giving you surgery. She would be very high risk on the table for passing away, given all her health problems, as bad as she is right now. But the number one issue that a doctor would have with her for that kind of surgery is she's an active, raging food addict. No doctor with his degree is going to look at her and go, yeah, we're going to give you the surgery. It's very invasive surgery. People who get weight loss surgery, they have to jump through many hoops and show the doctor that they are definitely on the right path and they've been on the path for a while to be approved for surgery. Any doctor could staple her stomach or do the lap band, but that's not going to fix what's going on in her head, because that's where the addiction is right here, not down here. It's right here. So what if it, let's just say Chantal got the surgery. They stapled her stomach or they put the lap band on and her stomach is the size of a teacup. Do you know what's going to happen? She's going to get out of the hospital. She's going to want to have a B moment. She's going to try to have a B moment, and either her stomach's going to rupture because she's put too much in it after it's gotten so small, or she's going to make herself vomit repeatedly. The addiction monster in her head is going to say, keep eating, keep eating, keep eating. It's going to trigger the crap out of her to keep eating, and she's not physically going to be able to. So how can that surgery help her? No surgeon in the world has the ability to remove addiction in your head. You can do what you want to the body, but unless you include the mind, there's going to be no success. So WLS, it's not a quick fix. You got to do the work, same as anything else. Even that wouldn't help her.
Now, besides eating, what is your favorite thing to do? I don't even know. Beyond food, what there is in life. Food is like a warm hug. It's a friend. It's everything. I gotta.
See, she just confessed it's an emotional thing to her. And that's bad. That is bad. When you have an addiction and it's an emotional thing to you, the emotional anchors is what I'm talking about. When you're looking at it for more than what it is. Food is just something you put on a plate. It doesn't have a heartbeat. It doesn't have a soul. Food is what we use to nourish ourselves, to go out into the world and experience things, to live. You should never live to eat. You should always eat to live. It's okay to have a piece of cake, little sweets once in a while, but if food becomes like an all-consuming thing, that is bad. And it's really bad. It's on emotional levels with her.
Find food that's like satiating but not addictive. That's gonna be hard. I'm overwhelmed already just thinking about it. I've been to professional help. That's the thing. But yeah, I probably do need more. I just don't even know where to start with that. I have started. I've sent out self-referrals. God chooses our partner for us. For me to be in a relationship, if I wasn't with Salah, I wouldn't ever be in a relationship, because like I realized that I'm like a basket case. I have so many problems. Being with an addict, it must be.
And I also want to bring up that when she was with BB was not aware of her food problem. She kept it a secret from him. Same thing happened with Salah. He did not know that she had a food issue. She kind of covered it up saying, oh, this is just what I do on YouTube to make money. No big deal. So she wants a human partner in life. And yet if you have a human partner, you got an issue like that, you should disclose it to them. You shouldn't hide it from them. But she did. She kept hiding it and downplaying it. She downplayed her issue with the people in her life for a long time. She wasn't honest about the fact that she had a problem.
Hell sometimes. But when it comes to food, I'm just like powerless, like completely powerless. I know I could quit smoking easily, just like that. But when it comes to food, like...
No, you can't. Nobody can quit smoking just like that. Trust me. Whatever you do, Chantal, whatever you like it, and then it becomes an obsession, and then it becomes an addiction. You go overboard. You go to the extreme side of the scale, and you keep it there. You don't try to pull back and wean off and get help. Nope.
Like, I gotta change my habits, There's some things you can't control, like having an addiction and how it affects your body.
No. I don't want to hear that. You can't control an addiction. Oh, yes, you can. With help, you can. I know what you're doing. You're setting in your mind, I can't control this. It's beyond me, because you want to continue. You're not ready to fight it off.
In mind, but working the program is something you can control, for example, I'm still trying to understand this whole thing. I'm trying to get a therapist. Anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know that. Hey guys.
Okay, so that was the video from Hot Wasabi, and I apologize. I forgot there was the second part. So where are we going next? How about this clip from What's Happening? We're going to go there next. And see. What do we got to say? Like, she's going to be describing how bad her mukbangs are for her food problem.
Food a theme on this channel, especially not one that involves indulging in food, indulging in.
And there's a reason why I'm showing all these different clips of her talking, because I want to point that there's also this cycle where when it suits her, she comes online and she talks about her food issue to elicit sympathy from her viewers, to kind of get them on her side. So there's this need for sympathy and understanding and making people aware of her problem, but there's no actual reaching out for real help. Again, she's hopping from one side of the fence to the other. Hey, everybody, I have this problem, and blah, 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 and then hopping to the other side and doing mukbangs.
Trigger foods, and I've done this many times before on my channel, so those of you who are not new to the circus know what, probably guessed that this would happen or predicted that this would happen just based on the patterns.
And she was still with BB at this point, I could tell by the background, just so we're keeping the timeline straight.
Have demonstrated on my channel, so I don't blame you there. But there's a few things, other realizations that I've come to that are the nails in the mukbang coffin for my channel. And I started my channel back in 2017, and I did a few makeup videos, and then hopped on the mukbang trend. And
yep, there we go. She's telling it like it is. She was looking to see what would pop off, and she found the mukbang stuff, and she's like, let's go.
Grew my channel that way. I always struggled with food. I always had issues with food, but I never realized how much of a food addict I was.
She's known. When she was young, her family tried to take her to get help for that, and she wouldn't want nothing to do with that. She's known for a long time. Don't let her fool you. She's always known she's got a problem with food. Always. It's not like it just, surprise, you got a problem with food. No, she's always known.
How much I had disordered eating. I never realized that at the time. It took a few years after starting mukbangs to really unravel what's...
No. You've done videos, you've done lives where you talked about, you knew about this problem even in your teenage years. So either you're lying about that or you're lying about this. Which is it? Maybe you're lying about both.
What's going on? Start to unravel what's going on, and I'm still very much right in the throes of everything, of the disease. And yes, because of that, I don't think it is healthy.
Ma'am, I got to correct you. It is not a disease. It's a disorder. If it were a disease, it would be called a disease. It's a disorder.
Healthy for me to be obsessed with food on my channel, because for me to beat this, for me the only way as a severe food addict is to keep things clean and simple when it comes to eating and abstinence.
And I feel the reason why she did this video is because at this time she had gone to the ER after having her intestines blocked with cheese. Also, BB found out about her food problem because she was hiding pizza boxes in the closet. She finally had to come clean. They had a roach infestation because of her. And he was encouraging her to eat healthy. Again, like, he's just a normal, decent guy. Probably didn't understand the food problem, how bad it was, and the fact that she needed professional help. So he's just doing what he thinks could help, you know, like encouraging her to go to the gym and eat healthy. But he because he didn't have the understanding about what was going on, like, he didn't know that she needs professional help. You just can't just send somebody with a food problem to the gym and eat healthy and it's over with. This is something that needs professional help to deal with.
And the very act of mukbanging, I've tried to make it healthy. I've tried to turn a blind eye, which is not good, but I've tried to make healthy mukbangs, and I still find myself, it is a slippery slope, and I know a lot of you have said that, but I'm stubborn and I don't listen to people, and that is a very negative trait to have. Basically, just the short of it is, as a food addict, it's a slippery slope for me to say I'm going to do healthy mukbangs, and then
Well, you transcended from slippery slope to just straight up falling off the slope. You slid all the way down, didn't you? Because here we are, over 500 pounds, myriad of health problems. You're on several different diabetic medications. You lost a lot of your mobility, girl. And it's not bad enough for you to change things around? It's not.
I find myself wanting to be more entertaining in the mukbang way. You know, you see Nikocado, you see Steven Sushi, you see other bigger mukbangers who have more success in that community, and they actually do a really big display of food. And I find myself leaning towards that when I do mukbangs, like with the 5 tacos and the 2 burgers or whatever. And I find ways to justify it with trying intermittent fasting and all this and that. And it's just not healthy eating that kind of food, period. That food, just when I eat it, no matter how long I intermittent fast, no matter how healthy I eat after, I'm finding that I still feel like crap. I still feel the effects of, if I eat a really fatty meal, really unhealthy meal, my heart beats faster, I need to lay down, it's just horrible feeling, and I just want to keep it simple when it comes to food, and I want to invest the money I save on mukbangs on food, which I spend a ton of money on food. Like, I don't have money for anything else, because
When she says she spends an awful lot of money on food, she ain't kidding. During the time of Crackhead Olympics, she disclosed herself that her food bill a month was $3,000, $4,000 for one person for the fast food. That's a lot of money. She was spending a lot of money during Crackhead Olympics. She spent a lot of money on fast food. I remember live streams that she would do where she would order fast food. She'd have a fast food meal freshly delivered in front of her, and she would start eating that food. And while she's eating that food, she's already thinking about the next meal she wants to eat, and she's already ordering another meal. It was insane. Absolutely insane. So she would spend thousands on fast food, thousands a month on edibles, which again, for food addiction is bad. You can't do that. It's just going to make you hungry. It's going to give you the munchies. A lot of her income was spent on food.
I spend it on food, and that, I could use that money to do more fulfilling things on my channel, which brings me to another nail in the mukbang coffin. I don't feel fulfillment. Overall, when I really analyze how I'm feeling after a mukbang, I feel like I do after I have a binge. I feel not right deep down, because I know deep down what I'm doing is not right.
But yet you don't stop. Chantal's way of dealing with things is, yeah, I eat a bunch of food. I may feel uncomfortable. I may have diarrhea. I may have a bloated stomach. But she learned to live with the discomfort and the side effects of what she did. Like, the uncomfortable became her normal. And over the years, she has adjusted to certain levels of pain. And as long as she can adjust to the levels of pain, then she feels like she's all right, that she can handle it, that she's got control. This is the addiction demon talking to her and saying, it's okay, it's fine, we're not in the hospital yet, we're okay. That's the voice in your head fooling you into thinking you got this when you don't got it. It's got you.
And I just choose to ignore that, just so that it's easier to do that than to do other content and be held accountable, It's easier, it's more effortless. You turn on the camera, you stuff your face. It's, there's not really, the way I would do it anyway. And I have had success with doing mukbang on my channel in the beginning, but another nail in that coffin is having opened up and sharing my addiction and eating disorder with you guys. And I think that's just completely changed.
So you're sharing your problem with people. And in a lot of cases, people do that because they're trying to make changes, and they're trying to hold themselves accountable, and they're looking for that public reinforcement of staying on the right path. You're opening up to people and you're sharing your problem, but at the same time, you're not treating your problem. And here's something else that I'd like to share with my viewers. A lot of people might wonder, why does Chantal eat so much? Well, part of that is her food addiction. Like you can actually become addicted to the feeling of your stomach being full. I will self confess that happened to me. That's actually a thing. You can become addicted to your stomach being full. With me, I like my stomach being full of food because, like, when you're full of food, like, it's kind of like it distracts you from feeling negative emotion. Does that make sense? Like, if you're full, over full with food, it stops you from feeling sad. It stops you from feeling maybe depressed for a minute. It happened to me, and I'm sure it's happened to her. And she's gotten to the point where she's got to keep her stomach full of food all the time. But I also feel, my opinion, there's another reason. So Chantal does the Foodie content on and off of YouTube. And in order to fulfill the requests of the Foodies, and I'm sure she's gotten many of them, perhaps several in a day, she's almost got to do the competitive eating thing where she's got to keep her stomach stretched out all the time to max capacity so she can eat the massive quantities of food that the Foodies are asking her to. If she ate smaller quantities, her stomach would shrink and she could not eat the massive quantities that the feeders require of her. So she has to eat all the time. She has to eat every 2 hours. And don't think I didn't notice, Chantal, that when you sat down to do your mukbangs, that there were a lot of liquidy foods. The soups, the stews, the yogurt. And I know why that is. It's because maybe some of those Foodies say, we don't want you drinking so much liquid. So to compensate for that, you get the soft foods that you can shovel in quickly. Also, in my opinion, when you do normal eating, ladies and gentlemen, when you start eating, it takes about 10 to 15 minutes for that chemical signal between your stomach and your brain to happen to where you feel full and you know when to stop. And in my opinion, when Chantal starts eating, she's racing against the clock. And so she eats a lot of soft food so she can shovel more in before that signal happens. She's basically being defiant to her own body. She doesn't want that feeling of fullness. She wants to keep going. Is it twisted? Yeah. But that's how bad her addiction is.
Everything. And I'm starting a new chapter of my life. I need to do a glow up. I need to work on myself. How many hints do I need to get? Health problems, breakup. Like this is a new chapter in my life, and I have to make it about me, and I have to make it about healing myself and getting better. And I came home today. I wanted to binge so bad, and had a binge urge, and I ran home and I read the chapter that I haven't read yet about this one.
So you're reading a book, you've read many books, but you're not dealing with your emotions. You put your emotions on a plate and you swallow them, which leads to more problems. Instead of outright addressing your emotions and the heartbreak and the sadness and depression and all that stuff, you are eating them, you're swallowing them versus processing them.
Man, best people who who are not food addicts or any addicts of any kind don't really understand, because a lot of people, it's just lunacy to a lot of people. And I understand that when people say, what is it going to take for you to change? How many health problems do you need? I mean, is having blood clots in your lungs not enough? Is not being able to walk 2 blocks enough for you? And no, some people, I honestly think some people just never have a rock bottom, and they turn out like this man in the book and they die. They eat themselves to death, or they drink themselves to death. For some people, it's just not enough. And you don't care about that. You don't care about your health.
No.
And it's a really hard thing to explain. And the fact that I think that the fact that I'm on here talking about it, and the fact that I rushed home and read that chapter, because I don't want that to happen to me, confirms that I don't want that to happen to me. So there is part of me that really wants to fight this over and over again.
But you're not fighting it. It's been years. You're not fighting it.
Until I get it right. Look at Amber Lynn. She's breaking her cycle.
Like if you truly wanted to fight it, you would get your ass off YouTube. Because you know that's ground zero for keeping your addiction going. As long as you monetize it, as long as you're profiting off of it, as long as the feedies are in the audience giving you money, as long as there are people talking about food to you, you're going to ground zero and saying, here I am, versus staying away. And as long as you keep going to ground zero, you're going to keep adding to the hurt versus subtracting the hurt.
It's taken many tries, but I find her very inspiring. And if I'm honest, I'm kind of jealous that I'm very happy for her. Don't get me wrong, but I'm jealous in the way that
I know it hasn't escaped my attention that Amber Lynn, when she started her channel, it was supposed to be a weight loss channel. And a lot of people got behind her for that. And look where we are now. Chantal was never a weight loss channel. She was just someone coming on YouTube and she was looking for a way to get famous and make money. And she ran into the mukbang thing and she just ran with it. But the effect for both women is the same. They got on YouTube, they got monetized, they started making money, and they decided to take the ball and run in the wrong direction with it. Now both are completely unhealthy. Both are practically housebound. Both have a myriad of health problems, which are getting worse, much worse.
I wish that was me. I wish I was down 70 pounds. You know, I'm not gonna lie, but I know that I can be. Yeah, I find honestly her very inspirational right now. So just that positivity, I really enjoy that. I don't like the way I feel when I'm doing mukbangs. I find that I don't feel any fulfillment from it. I don't feel fulfillment. I think the best when I was...
You could have fooled me, Chantal. I've seen your mukbangs. You get so happy and so excited when it comes to food.
When I was filming,
that's because of that emotional fulfillment that you get from food. Like that emotional reaction that happens inside of you.
Filming way back. Do you guys remember the first time I went on my weight loss journey? And that first walk I went for, and I was enjoying the air. So I found a nice area. I can go for...
Now look at this. Y'all want to see something shocking? Here we go. Look at her outside right now, walking around. She was able to still walk around here.
Walk. See.
Look at her. She's hoofing it. She's moving with a quickness, our girl.
Some kind of park. I'll show you guys. Yes. There's like a nice park over here. You know, some people think I should get off YouTube. Oh, there's a goose. Let's go pet it. I'm kidding. And focus on myself. But you know what? This helps me every day.
You know, Chantal, I don't know if you're ever going to see this React video, but your mindset is when you do your mukbangs and such, you think about what you're getting. You think about the money that you're getting. When what you should be thinking about is what I'm giving up to do this, to do these mukbangs. What are you giving up? You're giving up your mobility. You're giving up your health. You're giving up the ability to go out and experience life. Because there's a lot in life to enjoy, isn't there, ladies and gentlemen? There's a lot. The world is big, and there's so much to do, and there's so much happiness everywhere. And then your world becomes smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller with addiction, the more it consumes you. Instead of being focused on what you're getting, think about what you're giving up, what you have given up for the sake of your addiction and food.
It gives me a purpose to do it. I mean, when I'm putting together a vlog, I know I put a work into, and I have a good message in there, and I feel good about myself, and I'm connecting with you guys, and I'm inspiring people. That's where I feel the best. When I'm doing, you know, editing, even when I'm editing my mukbang, I get bored. So if I'm bored with my own content.
And yet you kept doing it because it was a moneymaker. And that's why you've stuck with it, because it's a moneymaker. Damn shame. You could have gone the other way, Foodie. Built a whole different kind of audience. But you didn't. This is the path you took.
how are other people thinking about it, you know? I think I'm just going to worry less about the pressure of worrying about getting a lot of views, about gaining traction, about all of that stuff. I'm just going to worry about doing my best to do videos that I feel good about, and just leave the rest up to whatever. I mean, for people to watch or not to watch, whatever, you know. I definitely will not be going back to mukbangs. I don't feel right about it.
And yet you went back.
I feel better when I'm just being real and open with you guys and sharing my struggles, sharing my life. And
See, that's the thing, though. You're not struggling. You never struggled, never truly struggled. You never fought against it. Never. I've been watching you for years. I've never seen that inner fight happening. Never once have I seen a live or a video where you're like, I am so mad at myself. I just ate a bunch of food and I hate this. Urgh. I've never seen it. Never saw signs of that inner battle. You've never battled to fix things. You've always battled to keep going.
I think a lot of people just want me to be honest with myself, honest with you guys, and continue to work on getting to a happy, healthier place. A lot of you've been watching me for about 3 years, and that's a long time that I've been with you guys. So I understand if a lot of you do come from a place of concern, and you know, I'm very sorry if I've been very, you know, deafblind to it all. I just,
and again, I said this in my react yesterday. It just, isn't it amazing? I'm not even being sarcastic here. I'm being serious. Isn't it amazing how she sounded back in the day? She was much more coherent. She could put her thoughts more together. She wasn't doing the half-finished sentences. Like, she was just being very coherent here compared to what we got now. I didn't know this, but obesity can affect functions of the brain, cognitive functions. And clearly there's something going on with her brain, that maybe all the overeating and high sugar and health problems, like, it affects her brain functions. I don't know. I'm a doctor, but just listen to her right now. She can actually talk versus just trailing off in her thoughts. It's insane.
really, when I have my mind set on something, I just kind of want to tune out any opposing opinion, and that is something I really want to work on. So I'm going to try my hardest to allow opinions of all forms in my comment section.
Yeah, the next day.
Just want to follow up on some things that I said in my last video. I don't take back my sentiments of my last video, but I've come to some realizations that regarding the changes to the content of my channel.
So that was what we just saw, was that day, and then the very next day.
I want to clarify, and I've come to some new decisions regarding that, at least for now. Yeah, I think it just makes me really nervous to just all of a sudden be so drastic with the change in my content and my channel. But at the same time, when I'm thinking she's going to go back to mukbangs, no, what I'm proposing to do for myself and my channel is kind of hit a middle, like a middle, I guess.
Yeah, and here, see, this is how you know she's not ready for change. So it's been one day. It's been less than 24 hours. And she's already in negotiations with her food addiction. Like, and this is something that's happened many times. She'll go overboard. She'll make herself sick. And then she'll kind of negotiate with the addiction, because the addiction inside of her wants to be fed. It's going to say, hey, do you want some pizza? You start negotiating with the addiction. You know, you sit down in a board meeting with it. Well, maybe I can eat a little bit healthy, but still do the fast food. You're negotiating with it because you're still trying to satisfy it. You're not cutting it off. You're not starving it. And then you start eating the fast food and you convince yourself, well, I can just have a burger. And the next thing you know, you're full back into it. That's why you can't negotiate with it.
Make some change, like still make the primary focus on my health and my well-being, especially at a time like this.
No. There's no half measures here. You can't sit there and eat healthy off camera and then eat unhealthy on camera. Nope, it doesn't work.
Where health is wealth in all sense of the way. But I also think that since we're self-isolating And it might even get worse where we're going to be forced to isolate. It could happen because there's still a lot of people roaming around, including I'm guilty of that. You know, I went out and saw my mom and everything when I probably, I mean, we do need to get things like groceries and stuff like that. But other than that, maybe we should be inside.
Foodie dated Natter, and when that ended, she had multiple hotel hookups with random men during the pandemic. And she also went out for fast food as well.
And because of that, there's not really much to do in the way of content. You know, it's not like I can go out and enjoy the downtown area.
So this is her making excuses why she's going to be eating the fast food. Well, we're going to be stuck inside. And there's not a lot of choices for healthy food. Bullshit. You can eat healthy inside during a pandemic. It's really easy. Actually, it's easier if you're at home because you can't go out, right? And she's already making excuses of why she's going to do what she's about to do.
Everything is closed and there's no one on the streets. You know, I could go for a 15-minute walk or whatever. It's not like I can go on hikes. I'm not at that level physically, especially with what's going on with my lungs right now. Maybe this is for comfort reasons.
Another thing that people should know, on top of Foodie's, you know, enlarged heart murmur, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, her kidneys are messed up. She also had blood clots in her lungs, Beezers. Did y'all know that? She's had a history of blood clots in her lungs, and she was taking blood thinners for a while. So there's that. Her lungs are messed up.
But I think maybe other people will find comfort in it too if I just kept my content the same for now, but different in the way that it won't be mukbangs. I'm not going to label them mukbangs. I'm not going to go out of my way to eat 2 burgers or do fast food. I'm going to be cooking my meals, and even if they're just simple meals like chicken and mashed potatoes.
Even at home, you have to be on the watch because you can easily overeat at home as much as you can going to a fast food restaurant. I mean, overeating is overeating no matter where you are.
I'll just have a dinner with me and we'll talk different subjects. Sometimes I'll do videos without food for those who enjoy that. I'm not going to make it obnoxious eating or anything so that people who don't even like really watching people eat will enjoy it. Just be like having dinner with a friend. When you're out with dinner with somebody, you watch them you're watching them eat or whatever. So have dinner with me and we'll talk about things that are going on. It can help relieve anxiety and maybe able to.
And I think that this video that she did, she was still living with BB at the time. So I feel like part of this video had to do with being with BB, and she was just simply saying things because you hear the TV in the background. Clearly he's there, and maybe she's saying things that she thinks he wants to hear and he would respond to. So like when there's a little bit of pressure, she will buckle under the pressure and just say what she thinks somebody else wants to hear. But again, the other person really can't control what's going on with her.
Help relieve stress. That's my hope. And you know, whenever I'm able to do so and do more, I still will do some videos without food, like makeup videos, or like I said, maybe just sit down and talk videos once in a while. But I do like the idea of just not labeling my videos mukbangs, but like have dinner with me, and I can set my camera up.
It doesn't matter if it's a mukbang and you labeled it a mukbang or have dinner with me. You shouldn't be eating on camera. You should never have eaten on camera. If you got a food problem, food should not be part of your content on YouTube. You shouldn't be monetizing food. You stay far away from it. You never did. So I'm going to end this video here, and this is from What's Happening. We got a lot more. We definitely have a lot more. Let me just get rid of that so I know what's going on here. Okay, where are we going next? And I purposely did not want to show this video. It's a little bit later, and I will give like a pre-warning. So we can't talk about just one addiction that Foodie has. She's got others. And for those of you that were not around during Crackhead Olympics, Foodie did a video where she comes clean about her addiction to, we're going to call it Coca-Cola. That stuff. And how bad it got. You know, we're going to include that addiction in as well. So if there's anybody out there that might get triggered about her talking about that, I'm just giving you a pre-warning so you can exit out of this part if you'd like. I certainly don't want to, trigger anybody. But if we're going to talk about addiction with Foodie, we got to cover not just one, but more than one. So this video is courtesy of Queen of WTF. And let's see what Foodie has to say.
I don't know how to say what I'm about to say. But I don't think it's not something I was going to talk about, but I just feel really alone and I don't know what to do. Honestly, I don't.
And before we even get started, I just want to place a little sub note in here. Foodie was brazen when it came to her use of Coca-Cola. She'd be on stream, turn the camera over to the side, and then, you can hear her sniff right beside the camera. And then when people were calling her out saying, we know what you're doing, we can hear you, and she would deny it, she would then go to the bathroom and do it, and you could hear the sniffing in there too. And then when people called her out for that, then when she wanted to do it, she would mute the camera, go to the bathroom and do it, and then come back. But we could always tell when she was under the influence. She was sometimes, turn the camera on, there was powder beneath her nose. It was pretty obvious what was going on. She wasn't exactly trying to hide it. But here she is about to come clean about doing the Coca-Cola, even though she denied for the longest, oh, I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it, but she was. And you're going to see how bad it was.
Like, not that I don't know what to do, it's just, I talked to BB about it, but nobody else. I, kept it in.
And keep in mind, at this time, she and BB are broke up. So she's with Natter, she's focused on Natter, and she's calling her ex-boyfriend that she was with for 5 years, the guy that she lived with, that she cheated on, calling him up about what's going on with her, even though BB did not have to be involved. And honestly, he can't help her. What's he going to do if she's got an addiction to Coca-Cola? He's not an addiction counselor. And even if he had been, there would have been a conflict of interest because he knows Chantal. So he can't get her the proper help that she needs. She's got to reach out for outside help to someone who has no personal connection to her. But she's not reaching for help the way that she should. She's coming online and talking about it and wanting sympathy versus getting actual doggone help.
Because I think I'm in denial. And I was trying to go through the day and just be normal, and cook and everything, but I just can't. I just don't want to. I'm so sorry. Oh my god, I need Kleenex. Hold on.
You sure you just need a Kleenex back there?
I haven't even told my close internet friends, all of you are gonna be like, what the fuck, But I'm not okay. Thank you, Lucky Lex. It's nothing to do with Dom. I'm not seeing him anymore. This is completely just me right now. So I don't want you to think that has to do with that. But oh my god, I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say it.
So, by the way, she did this live stream and then she deleted it. I don't know why, but she did.
Because I know a lot of you are not going to believe that. That I would do that, Thank you, Lucky Lex. Ooh.
It's also of note that when Chantal first started seeing Dom, Natter, she got a lot of people alarmed because she would just have nosebleeds. And I wonder if the nosebleeds relate to her doing the Coca-Cola. But she would just get random nosebleeds for a while, and then they stopped. People would ask her, what is going on? Why is your nose bleeding just out of the blue for no reason? And I wonder if this was the reason.
I'm pretty sure that I'm addicted to cocaine. I can't stop shaking. I've been shaking all day.
Yep, you were taking it. You were taking it for several reasons, Chantal. I feel one reason was because you wanted to lose weight and you had a very powerful, powerful food addiction going on. It's been going on for years. You were looking for something to help you lose weight. And that is a really toxic, stupid, dangerous way to lose weight. Did you lose weight? Yes. That was the only time you lost weight because you got a powerful food addiction, like I said, and you needed something powerful to kind of short circuit those thoughts of food. You tried the Ozempic, that didn't work because you didn't like how it kept you completely away from food and made you nauseous when you overate. So you stopped taking the Ozempic, and Ozempic is expensive anyway. So you were seeing Natter. You can get the Coca-Cola from Natter. So you want to lose weight. You knew that Natter liked smaller women. So you were taking the Coca-Cola for that purpose. But also, in my opinion, you were trying to show off. I mean, he was into the heavy stuff. So you got into the heavy stuff. You kind of want to fit in with him. So you were doing the heavy stuff too. He partied, therefore you partied. And he also got the side benefit of getting extra money from you because you bought the party favors from him. He overcharged you, way overcharged you. But whatever you do too much. You're an extreme person. And it doesn't take long to go from 0 to 600 in no time flat. You do too much of whatever it is you do. You're always chasing the tail of the dragon. You'll do one thing, you'll chase it up to insane levels, and then when you can't feel anything off it anymore, you switch to something else, and then the same thing happens, and back and forth you go. But keep telling us about your issue with Coca-Cola, please.
I can't stop shaking, and I just feel like I just need to calm down. That's why I ordered the pre-rolls, because if I do, when I do edibles or I do cannabis, it actually really helps with the nerves, because my nerves are just so like...
Now, that was something she also did back in the day, just smoking the green literally all day long. All day long. The dispensary made thousands and thousands of dollars just off of her, because she would go to the dispensary and spend $2-3 grand on the green products, all kinds of green products, the roll-ups, the edibles, the shatter bears, the freaking, candy bars, all of it. All of it. She was doing in excess of everything.
Welcome, Geraldine. Look, I'm stupid. I was cocky. Starts with a couple lines and then you're like, oh, it's just for partying. And then I just started, I started doing it by myself. Like, not with anybody. Just having a fucking 8-ball in my drawer and just doing it.
Yeah, and that's what made Crackhead Olympics so intense for those little reactors. She'd be over there doing the no snow all day long, all night long. And that gave her the energy to go for 8 to 12 hours a day with her live streams. And those of us that weren't taking the nose candy could barely keep up. I was losing weight over here, no lie. Lost 20 pounds because of Foodie, because I couldn't move away from my computer just trying to keep up with all her nonsense. It was insane. That's what we called it, Crackhead Olympics, because it was just like high fuel powered insanity.
Yeah. Oh, I feel so stupid. I didn't even tell any of you guys, Victoria, any of you, because I didn't think I was. I just thought, and then I noticed that, it's okay, recovery. This is the worst part. I totally get it. We're all human. There are many great recovery programs out there. Thank you, Anna. And that's overwhelming for me. Like, I'm gonna have to go. Am I gonna have to go to a program and everything, or can I nip this in the bud? I don't know.
Another thing of note. So after she did this video, I feel like I remember she went to her uncle's house to dry out. And if I'm correct, if I remember this right, her uncle was not an addiction counselor, not that, like involved in like an addiction recovery thing. She was staying at his house. She stayed there for a couple of days. I don't know what happened, but then she came back home, and even before she arrived home, she scheduled a green delivery.
Thanks, Danielle. The last time I had some was did I have any yesterday? I don't think so. The day before yesterday, maybe. But like before that, it's been like every day, almost. I'd say maybe a day or two without it, but the more I do it, obviously. And I just got scared today because
Yeah, the more you do, the more you want. Addiction is never satisfied. You can't be an addict and your addiction goes, well, we did a little bit of whatever we wanted. We're good. We don't need any more. It's not that way. The more you do, the more you want. The bigger the problem gets, the more intense the problem. That's why addiction is so destructive. There's no satisfying it. It grows and grows and grows and just becomes much worse.
like I thought I was okay and went to farm boy, and then all of a sudden it's like you have to learn how to be happy again. And I'm not seeing him. It's not that. It's getting it myself and doing it myself. You know.
Yeah, we remember all the trips to the outhouse. We all figured out that the outhouse visits it was a drop-off point for you. You told on yourself. Like just like with food, you're addicted to food. Every time you go to get food, it's like, and I'm not trying to say this sarcastically or meanly, it's like an addict just is anticipating the fix. You know, you're rubbing your hands together, like, oh, I'm gonna get my fix. She would get excited going to those fast food restaurants. Like she's anticipating the brain explosion, the dopamine. And it was the same with the outhouse visits. She would go to the outhouse and be absolutely excited and ecstatic to go to this outhouse, like anticipating it. And it was an outhouse in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of winter. We figured out it was a drop-off point because there were a couple of occasions she actually met somebody there. She tried to hide it, but we noticed. Yes, we did.
And even Dom was like, I'm not getting it for you anymore. I can see you just want more and more of it. I'm not getting it for you.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and there was one night she nearly took it too far. She nearly OD'd. She told us about it. And there was a night when she did so much that even Nader was saying, I got to cut you off, and they had a fight about it. Imagine someone like Nader saying to you, you're way over the line here, ma'am. You got to know that's a lot.
Brooke, did something happen to you this weekend? No, I'm okay, Brooke. Thank you. Kev, Cass, no one is allowed to shame anyone for drug use. You are not a terrible person for the lots of celebrate your Thanks, Kev. You don't feel that way, like people telling you you're a junkie and everything, you know? And it's like, yeah, probably a lot of my weight loss was from that, because you don't eat. You just do that.
Yeah, she lost about, I don't know, she said 50, 70 pounds, and I believe her. Because you could actually see the weight loss. Her ears weren't pressed up against her head. You could see more of the cheekbones. You can see it in the face that she was losing weight. But it's not a safe way to lose weight. I just want to stress that.
The Ozempic, doing that, and then people would accuse me of that, and I hate lying about it. And now stop, am I going to gain my weight back? You know what I mean? So that scared me. So I was like, no, I'll just, one more time. Robert, just do this and then none, you know? Miss Fancy May, welcome to Very Important Users, Ready Set Bees, thank you. So I just feel like I feel better now that I'm not hiding it as much from people because.
So Chantal's in her house. She's making this confession that she's got a problem with a certain party favor. But how is she going to get better if she's in her house and she's not seeking professional help? And she's around a man who does party favors, and she insists on being around him. I ask you. And she's making tons of money. And She gets that money and she funds her addictions. Again, you cannot heal in the same environment that you hurt in.
That's why the edibles and the other cannabis products, they do help with the anxiety and just calming you down. Thank you, Mercy. But I do need help. Well,
but you never got help. You never got it.
I'm gonna be okay, I think. I don't know. Daily? No, not a whole month. I don't know what to do, Chloe. Forever. I just feel like that's all I want to do right now.
I mean, didn't she say in the beginning of the video that she had an 8-ball in her drawer? She did. She said that at the beginning of the video. I have an 8-ball in my drawer. So it's right there. If you're done, why aren't you taking that 8-ball and flushing it down the toilet? Because it's right there. I mean, the temptation is right there. If you're done, you're done. You take the temptation, you throw it away, you give it to somebody. Well, not give it to somebody, not in this case, but you get rid of it. But if you're not getting rid of it, that means you're going to do it because it's there.
Bro, does your family know you need support? Not now. I didn't tell my mom because I don't want to upset her. Kev Cass, welcome, Kev Cass. Thank you. He said you're at a turning point in your life right now. You can have a future traveling. Lucky Lex, I can't talk, so in fact you will feel poopy for a while. But you bounce back and will feel better than ever. Thank you, Lucky Lex. I'm glad you were able to transfer of addiction, yeah. It's like no matter what stage I am in my life, it's like I'm always addicted.
This is just my opinion. I think that her little breakdown is genuine. But I also think that she's using this moment and monetizing it because she wants to create emotional triggering anchors with her audience. She talked a lot about DV, looking to bond with the people in her audience that had also gone through DV. And they would send her money. And I'm sure that she's aware of the fact that there might be people in her audience that have gone through drug addiction. And so she's coming online and she's spotlighting, yes, this is what's been going on with me. Maybe looking for money from them, sympathy from them, super chats from them. Because she just sat there and said, I got an 8-ball in my drawer. Why is it still there? So you want the sympathy, you want the super chats. At the same time, you got something in your drawer that should not be there. And if it's still there, you ain't ready. Otherwise, it would not be around you. So just trying to find toxic, triggering things to tie the audience to her. Let's talk about DV. Let's talk about SA. Let's talk about BED. Let's talk about addiction. She's a broken person looking for other broken people, hurt people, people who have been hurt, people who are experiencing hurt to make into her audience. Let's all be broken together. Let's all bond using our pain. Gather around me. I'm going to open up your scars. And I'm going to exploit addiction and hurt to make money off of you. Rather than heal the hurt. And that might inspire people in her audience to heal their hurts or look into help.
Addicted to something, whether it's food. I was so happy it's not food. I know that's so fucked up. Oh my god.
And by the way, Chantal, you cannot use one addiction to combat another addiction. You cannot, switch one from the other because both still exist. If you've got one and it's untreated, then it's a one untreated. If you've got two, then it's two untreated. It's not like you're switching from one to the other and then one disappears. It don't work like that.
I can't go back to being addicted to food. I just can't. I just can't. I appreciate you guys listening to me, and I know a lot of people are like, I told you so. I know people have experience with that, are not stupid, but I mean, I was very cocky, like, oh, it's okay, I can just do it recreationally. You know, like anytime I've ever done it, it was like, I didn't like it, but I don't know, I just different, you know. The guy's just messaging me with the flavors of pre-rolls I have. Is professional help covered? Don't let money be the reason. I'm here for you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it is covered. Hi, Travonda. I know. Nope, I haven't been taking my medication.
Nope. She won't take the medication that she needs, but she'll take everything else. And she thinks that the other stuff, the party favors, that will just make her health problems go away. No. Well, of course, she's not going to take the medication she needs if it interferes in the party favors or it conflicts with the party favors.
But I was like, am I really addicted? Because like I can go a day without it. Like I've gone a day without it, but now like today I'm just like, I didn't have any yesterday, and today I'm just like, hamburger eyes. Welcome to Very Important Visitors. Ozark Center. Yeah, we have a lot of, like, it's covered here in Canada. We have a lot of, for drug addiction. Now that it's not food, maybe I can get some help.
Well, there you go. So she's in Canada and she could easily get help. At this time, didn't get help. Didn't even try.
Oh my god, my life is fun. Ooh, I'm so stupid. Like I don't even know I'm alive right now. I'm on so many medications, and I'm like, I'm gonna order the joints, and
So she did that whole thing about I got a problem with party favors, and then same night, not even 24 hours later, same night.
That's gonna be better. So I'm gonna be okay. And I'm gonna hang out with you guys. This is so.
And by the way, Chantal, you're telling on yourself. Already you're telling on yourself. You're over there wiping your nose, girl. We know what you did. We know what you did. You said in the video, I got something in my drawer. You didn't throw it away. You didn't throw it away on camera, nothing. So obviously you've been doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
So fucked. I can't believe I'm talking about this so casual. I feels like I'm just talking about it casually. Like and it was something that was so like messed up, and I think it's because I had to. I don't know. Just please bear with me. I'm so like emotional and weird, and I don't know. I've had a lot of people who also are addicts reach out to me, and like one, I can't remember who, but somebody. I cried actually a little bit. Like tears got up in my eyes reading about. It was like, I know you're on it. If you're gonna do that, here's some like safety things. Like, don't put any on your teeth. It will rot your teeth. And
so people that were addicts of party favors are reaching out to her and giving her little safety tips. I can't. So she comes on camera confessing she's got a huge rug problem. She's literally spent thousands on it, and then addicts are reaching out saying, well, here's some safety tips. Here are things you shouldn't do if you're going to do it.
And like stay hydrated and just like all these tips, like these caring tips. And I was just like, this, like, that's very caring of somebody to take the time to, you know.
And no, that is not caring. That is seriously what the F.
Hi, Cat Queen. There are some like rehab programs, but I'm going to call, there's addiction counseling as well. I decided to say,
I think it's wild. It's crazy work that she's sitting here talking about addiction at the same time she's indulging in another one of her addictions. That is crazy work.
Something because, like I said, I felt like if I said something, then it's out there, and it'll almost be like I'm forced to like address it myself. Am I allowed to like have a few puffs on camera? Or should I turn the camera? I don't even know what I'm allowed to do on here anymore.
So you came on camera early in the day talking about your problem with something, and then you're going to just do the chemicals on camera.
When did I get these? I'll be right back then. Give me a sec.
Yep, and we know what she's about to go do. She's going to leave the room and go do the stuff in the bathroom. Look at the smirk on her face. She's not done.
Whatever, fuck. It's tobacco.
Okay, we're going to get past that part. I don't want to see you smoking.
most shops have signs that say tobacco use only. I know! That's me! You are not your addiction. But it makes you feel like that because it makes you feel like it's you. Well, I mean, it must be something in the brain. I don't know. And the reason I stopped taking blood thinners, because I was afraid of how it would interact with what I was doing.
So she was on blood thinners at this time, which she took for the blood clots that had appeared in her lungs. And she stopped taking them. It was a much needed medication, and she stopped taking them because she was afraid how it would interact with the party favors, like I said.
So I didn't do it.
So let's stop taking the things that I need that are important for things that I don't need and aren't important. Big brain thinking right there.
This stuff is like... Thank you.
Okay, that's enough of that. It's entirely enough of that. Let's do some more. What else we got here? Do I have any more? I'm looking. I got a whole bunch of stuff. No. Okay, one last clip. Actually, a couple more. We're going to do a couple more. So I would like to show you guys, like, this is just a preview of things to come. Okay, those of you that are beezers that you've never seen her high off her rocker, you're about to see it. It's going to happen. I want to give you guys a taste of what those of us in girl world who are around for Crackhead Olympics, how we saw her many, many nights all in a row, how she came on camera. Show you a little bit of what we were exposed to. And keep in mind, Chantal was in full control of herself. She could do what she wants. She could go where she likes. She can do as she likes. Nobody was forcing her to do anything. And that includes being effed up on camera. She could have kept that off camera, but she didn't. She came on camera effed up. You're about to see. Let's watch. And this is courtesy of Dean Goldberry 585.
Spinster.
So she had been doing a lot of rugs, and she had a B moment the night before, and she's still under the influence.
I'm totally beezing. I am so beezing today.
Yeah, beezing is misbehaving and or food B moments and or rugs or all of the above, usually all of the above. You know, because you can't do one without doing the others too. You can't leave one of them out.
I'm starving. Hi, Terry. Salt. Last night I was so hungry.
Yeah, and the edibles will do that.
I couldn't help it. I ate. I feel dizzy today from those edibles. I feel like really dizzy.
Yeah, she ingested a massive amount of edibles, Mary Jane, on camera. She sure did. We saw it go down.
So I ordered some food. So I've never tried this before.
I mean, this was way back in the day, and I can tell she's effed up. I can just tell by the way she's moving. She's moving a lot slower. She's still under the influence. She doesn't need any more. She's still high. She's still high from the night before. That should tell you how much she did. If she went to bed and she's waking up still high.
But it's a chicken parmesan sandwich with like a spicy sauce.
Okay, you know what? And I don't want to see you put that in your face. Can we get past that, please? Is there any part where she's not eating? Let me just... No, I don't want to see any of that. I'm getting past... No, we're not. No. Are we done? Okay.
One more bite of the cannoli.
Yeah, she's eating massive amounts of food.
I think I'm still high from yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Girl, I can tell by your eyes and your movements you are still flying in them clouds.
I'm not kidding.
Yep.
I should probably take a break from the internet tomorrow to get my life sorted out. To do a whole day of cleaning.
She never cleaned. She would stay high 24/7. She never cleaned. And that's why the place was disgusting. She had rotted food in the fridge, moldy blue pots underneath the stairs, nasty litter boxes that didn't get changed in months, fruit flies everywhere. It was disgusting. Absolutely putrid, disgusting. And what's worse is not only did she and Pete's live like that, the cats lived like that. She forced them to live in that kind of environment. She's an adult, and Pete is an adult, and there are two adults in the house, and somebody could have cleaned, or she could have gotten maids to come in and clean, but she never did. For no random reason, she lived in filth.
That was a huge friggin' sandwich. It's like Roberto's Corner. It's like a Italian deli. Those are the best. So they made those arancini things, the cannolis.
So she just got through eating, and she's already talking about food. I couldn't. I'd be like, I'm full. I don't even want to look at food. I don't want to smell food. I don't want to talk about food. I'm full. Not foodie.
The cannoli. I want more of the cannoli.
Nope, not done. We're skipping past that. No.
Someone asked me that. Mm-hmm.
Oh, not done. I once watched Chantal get on a live stream and she ate for 3 solid hours. Now, some might ask the question, how is that even possible? Well, it's because her stomach was stretched out and she did massive amounts of edibles. Massive amounts. And she was just going from one thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing, and it literally went on for hours. Hours, y'all.
Not the healthiest thing ever.
Stop eating. My God.
So hungry.
And that's why you can't do edibles like that when you have a problem with food. It's just going to make the problem 10 times worse.
Unstoppable food. It's like munchies. For me, it feels like munchies times 10. Like it's just you just want to hoover food exactly. Just like.
And she did. She did. I mean, and shut up, Chantal. The amount of food that she could put in was horrifying and amazing all at the same time. I'll be honest, I was shocked that despite all the food that she would eat on camera, she never threw up. You would think that she would, but she never did. How do you do it, Foodie? Maybe it's because your stomach is all the way stretched out. I don't know, but she never did. She just kept going. And I'm sure that's why the feedies love her, because she could eat massive amounts of food and not get sick.
Because you're like the buzz you get is like times 50.
Let's hear that part again, because that's important.
And because you're like the buzz you get is like times 50.
She just said it. There she is chasing the high off of food, the high off of chemicals, the high off of anything, always chasing the tail of the dragon. This woman is an addict. And she's always looking for the next new powerful high, no matter where it exists. She's not just somebody on YouTube eating food in front of a camera. She's an addict, partaking in her addictions in full view of the public and expecting money for the same. And she's doing self-harm behavior. Let's just call it for what it is. It's self-harm behavior. Someone getting on camera when they have an addiction or addictions and doing it in front of people and saying, pay me, give me money for it. Monetized self-harm behavior. There's no other way to look at it. No other way. And the twisted part is that there are people in her audience, that's their entertainment. They give her money to continue. They know about her problems. They know about her addictions. They know about her issue with food. She's come on camera and told them. She's made numerous live streams and videos speaking about it. And yet they keep funding it. And some over there might argue and say, well, we like her and we want to be supportive of her. You can like Foodie if you want. You can be supportive that if you like. But there are correct ways to support an addict where you're not supporting the addiction and making it worse. You can be emotionally supportive, mentally supportive, be positive reinforcement with words. But the last thing you should be doing is giving a person like Foodie money because you know where it's going to go and you know what she's going to do with it. It's going to go for her addictions. All of them. You got to know that's where your money's going. You can support an addict if they want to get help without enabling the addiction. You should never enable an addiction. You should never help an addict to get high. Worst possible path, unless you're someone you've got a fetish and you don't care about the addict. You don't care about their lack of health. You don't care if they might end up in the hospital or having a heart attack. But if you're enabling somebody like that, don't fool yourself into thinking you care for them, because obviously you don't. You don't care about them. You care about what you're getting out of them. You're getting a fetish fulfilled. Anybody enabling her addiction, you are not her friends. You don't really care for her. You care about what you get out of her. Don't get it twisted. Be honest with yourselves. Just be honest about why you're around her. Some of you care, some of you don't. Her addiction is her problem. She's got to be the one to treat it. She's got to be the one to address it. This problem started well before YouTube. It is not the fault of the audience getting things started. It started with her. It's got to end with her. But nobody should be enabling or funding this shit, or talking about food in her chat, or encouraging her to eat food, or triggering her with thoughts of food. If you're someone and you would never dream of walking up to an alcoholic, knowing that they're an alcoholic, and talking to them, hey man, I went out last night and I drank a bunch of alcohol, I'm so effed up. If you would never do that because you know they have a problem with alcohol, because you know that would trigger them, then why trigger a food addict with thoughts of food? Why do it? It's addiction is addiction. Okay? Whether it's food, alcohol, something else, it's still harmful. It still causes damage. And it can be lethal.
You know, but it's so relaxing. You just want to pass out after.
But we're going to see this version of Foodie times 10. This is what's coming back. This is what we're going to see on camera. And I've been watching her lives. Some of the beezers are already anticipating her being high on camera, and they can't wait to see it again. They're like, yeah, do some beezing on camera. They want this. They want to see her effed up. They want to see her eat massive amounts of food. Seeing that shit, I don't want to hear nothing from the beezers about how evil girl world is. Because as much as I despise this woman, as awful as I think she is, there's a line. I would never encourage an addict in their addiction. Never. Never. I've been through it myself. I know how destructive it is. I know how harmful it is. And even in my worst enemy, I wouldn't wish it. I wouldn't encourage it. So all of you friendly faces over there acting like you're friendly with her and you care about her, you don't care about her if you're encouraging her addiction and you're funding it and you're enabling it. You don't. You're buddy trolls. You understand? Those of us in Girl World, we're just here to document what's happening, but we're not encouraging the addictions. We're not funding that shit. Some of you are, though. And don't use the excuse, oh, I like her. You can like her. You can be emotionally supportive, like I said. That's cool. But if you're over there talking about food and giving her money for food, you ain't helping the situation. You're not helping her. And if something happens to her, she ends up in the hospital. And believe me, the chances of that are high when she comes back to Canada, because she is a full-blown addict with many addictions. And she's going to be set free in Canada amongst many different things that she's addicted to and she's been dry of for months. The chances of her ending up in the hospital are high, very high. And if y'all are giving her money for food and whatever else, then you're kind of have a part to play in what's about to happen. Real talk.
I gotta make, so tomorrow I need to stay off the internet because I have to, or it's just gonna be all over the place. It's chaos.
Well, she did indeed come up with a schedule. The very next night, she was once again got completely rugged out of her mind and ate herself into oblivion. That video is next. Yep. So it was a pattern that we saw all the time. All the time. Is there any more that I need to show here? Oh, one last video. And this is not something addiction related, but this is just a final video. And it has to do with Pete's. It's a short video. We're not going to take long here. But Chantal lately has been talking about her best friend, right? Her best friend. So here she is back at the villa. And this is from TIEDYED, HIPPO, Emma Kate. Y'all want to know how much she loved her best friend? When she was back at the villa, there were more than a couple of times she talked about getting rid of Pete and getting rid of the cats. Why? Because she wanted to be with Natter. She felt that the cats and Pete's were kind of blockages in her way for being with Natter. So here's a little interesting clip that I found where she talks about getting rid of Pete's, her best friend. Just thought you guys should see this.
I was kidding. I swear. Okay, I was thinking about it. It popped in my head, but I wasn't going to do it.
And I would like to say before she even gets started, just so we're aware, when Foodie and Pete's moved in together, he had a job. He was making money. Chantal was after him to quit his job and join her on YouTube. So he had his own income. He had his own, means of support. But she wanted him completely on YouTube with her. She wanted complete control of Pete's. And then when he didn't have a job anymore and he was financially dependent on Foodie, she enjoyed that control. She could tell him what to do. And then later on, as we know, she wanted to go to Kuwait to be with Salah. The time that they lived together, she wasn't encouraging him to go get another job and make his own money and have his own independence. She wanted him completely codependent. So he started off with a job, money, good credit, and that's how they were able to get into the villa. And then when it suited her, when she found another man, she abandoned him with no job, no money, bad credit because she ruined his credit. That's how she left her best friend. I'm going to encourage you to quit your job and not have money. And then right when I have you under my thumb, I'm going to leave and go be with another dude in another country. Bye. Good friend you got there, Pete.
I'm just being honest because I don't like saying. I honestly don't like being dishonest anymore. I actually feel bad. I think I have a guilty conscience now. I think I have some growth going on. I'm just joking. No, I do. I feel a bit more like. I just want to be as open and honest as possible, even if I get a lot of hate for it. Do you know what I mean by that? I'll end up breaking it, you know. I want to get a different. If I do ever get an engagement ring, I want it to be different.
Oh, yeah, the engagement ring. She bought her own engagement ring with Natter because he didn't buy her one. You remember the ring? She bought it herself. She took engagement photos in the park, even though they were never engaged. Never. She was trying to force him into a relationship, and he wasn't having it. But she tried to act like they were in a relationship because she was desperate to claim Natter for herself and keep other women away. Not that anybody really wanted him, but still, she felt threatened.
I want it to be something like black. Not something white and like. I even think if I married him, I would wear a black dress. Just, I don't know.
I'll never forget her going into Natter's chat, and in big shouty capital letters, she says, I got the dress, I got the ring, claim me. She was desperate for Natter to claim her. Desperate. She wanted him to claim her. She wants to be in a relationship so bad that she's almost insisting that somebody claim her. And she will buy her own ring and buy her own dress and buy the wedding shoes, which, by the way, Chantal, they were ugly, hideous. But you were trying to say, I got all the stuff. Just walk down the aisle with me. Desperation is real with her.
Why not wait until you get to that? Yeah, no, I am, Alex. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
He was so abusive, but she was desperate for him to claim her. Make that make sense.
Black, like E.G. Soul. Honestly, the thought that matters for me. Like, if you don't have a lot of money and you want to buy me a ring, that's not.
And this clip kind of ties into the others because the first clips were about her addiction to food. Then we showed the addiction to party favors. Now the spotlight's her addiction to men. One man, Natter. Because she did get on camera and say, I'm addicted to this man, so this is another one of her addictions.
$50. A sterling silver, nice heart ring. I don't care. I mean, I don't care about the price of things that people do for me. I can buy myself whatever the fuck I want to buy.
Not anymore.
Sadsy? Oh, Madsy. What's up, Madsy? Every time you stream cite me, you're gonna get that. So, polygamous marriage. I always say no, but if I get to, I mean, because you always think, well, no, I'm a monogamous person, but anyway. I mean, I'm more open-minded, I guess, to things than I was. Get married in general? I never wanted to, Sabrina. I don't know. But I sort of changed. I don't know. I don't know. Aquamarine. Nice, Kimikazo. Black wedding dress? I'm just not a traditional person. I'm not... Number one, a relationship isn't traditional at all. There's a dark side to it. So I think like the black and white ring might symbolize... I don't know. I'm being stupid. I'm just talking out of my ass right now.
I don't think Foodie ever wanted true marriage. She just wanted ownership. She wanted to claim somebody. This one's mine. And, you know, she just wanted to claim someone or someone to claim her.
Okay, I had some CBD THC oil when I first came in. Is it possible to just kick in now and relax me? I feel relaxed. I'll fix up the accusation of my towards her. No, Sandra, we won't be addressing that at all publicly, so it's not going to happen.
So this man, Natter, she's claimed multiple times that he was abusive, but she wants to marry him. You feel comfortable enough with a man that you claim abused you. You want to be with them for life? You want to walk down the aisle with them and say, I do? Weird. Very strange. Very strange. Kind of points to the fact that you lied. Because who wants to get married to an abusive man? Who? No one. Nobody. Nowhere.
He hates my only friends who will be the bridesmaid. Ramona's gonna be a bridesmaid anyways. No, if I got married, it wouldn't be a wedding. It would be like, no, I'm not gonna have a, it wouldn't be like, if I ever got married, it would just be eloping. Yeah.
I think Foodie she's in love with the idea of love. And she's in love with the fantasy of marriage versus the reality of marriage. Chantal, get mad at me all you want, bitch. But I'm just going to bring this up. I've been married twice. Twice. For real. Not fake, phony YouTube marriage, twice. And twice divorced because my husbands were bad people. And I found that out later. But I'm alone now because I'm taking care of myself. I'm focusing on myself. I'm not just going to hop into a relationship. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. But in the case of you, ma'am, something I'd like to share with you, some older woman knowledge. Here's what I found out between two marriages. Marriage is right when it's right. And the person that is your partner, before they become your husband, before they become your fiance, first, they have to be your best friend. And you have to be their best friend. And you've got to spend a lot of time around them. And you've got to get to know them. You got to know their good moments, their bad moments, their good aspects, their bad aspects. And the two of you have to function as a team, as a unit. You have to be there for each other. There's not a system of codependency. There has to be true connection. See, that's something else that I found out in my older age. A lot of people think that love is the top of the mountain, that it is the most important thing. It's not. Do you know what is? Connection. You got to be connected to your partner, really connected. And you know you have it when certain things happen. If you're around somebody and you can pretty much almost figure out what they're thinking just by a look, you got connection. If you can sit in total silence next to them and almost be having a silent conversation, that is connection. If you can get on the phone with somebody and you start out the conversation at say 6 p.m. and you're still talking at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, you got something there. Like you're enjoying the conversation so much you don't want to shut up. You're plugging in your phone in the wall to keep the conversation going. Like it takes connection to keep conversation going for that long. Like when two people are connected by the soul, it's a rare thing, but it's a special thing. And if you have connection, love will come from that. But you're always going for the emotion versus the connection. And you never reach for connection, you reach for quick gratification. You focus on the physical and the aesthetic. You fall in love with your eyes and not with your soul. And then you wonder why things fall apart. You're not looking to see, is this person good for me? Am I good for them? Well, can it work long term? No, you want the quick, the easy, the fast versus the long standing, the fulfillment. I come from a family of people, Chantal. I had a set of great grandparents that were together over 65 years. And they were beautiful to watch together because they acted like teenagers around each other, even when they were in their 70s and 80s. They were best friends. And then my grandparents, together 55 years. And they were each other's best friends. So I come from a long line of that. And that's something you will never know. You'll never know that kind of love because you are no one's best friend.
Exactly, girl miss. Well, yeah, it will be eloping. Fast food funeral. I don't even think about fast food at all anymore. I do worry I think if things ended, I would, not just with him, but with any, like, I think being in a new relationship makes me focus on something else. I want to focus on, like, one of the things we talked about was just, like, personal growth, like, sorry, just focusing on, like, personal growth and getting healthier. I know that I've said a lot of bad things, but it's so refreshing to.
You can't focus on personal growth if all of your attention is on a dude. Sorry. You use men as a distraction from your life and the things that you know you need to do.
Be with somebody who takes care, like, I know it's contradictory, but at the same time, like, I feel like I'm really cared about, like, my health and, like, wanting, like, I could say, like, do you want to do this? Never says no. Like, likes to do things, like, haunted stuff. And I don't know, there's a lot of things. Burqa, I'm not gonna wear burqa, but the Red Lobster I did mostly to do for, like, on live. Like, I wanted to eat. Like, I still have that, like, mukbang mentality a little bit where I think the oil kicked in because I would get more open and talkative whenever I do. There's some songs I really like. Until you realize Pete would be out of your life, right? No. But actually, Shay, I talked to Pete, I said, like, future, we're talking about future-wise, like, and he.
And you know what, Chantal? I will acknowledge that you are your own person and Pete is in his own person, and you're not his mother. He is not your son. And it is not your responsibility to take care of him for life. He is your ex, you are his ex. And if you want to move on and be with another dude, okay. But since you encouraged him to not work, to not make his own money, if there's any thought in your head about I want to move on with somebody else, then as his best friend, wouldn't the decent thing to be to walk up to him and say, look, I know I'm going to be moving out eventually. I want to move on with somebody else. I want my own life. So I'm giving you a heads up so you can find another job and get some money flowing while you're living with me. Like give him a heads up. You never did. And while you were there as his best friend, you were encouraging him to find independence away from you. You liked him being codependent on you. You liked that control. And in my opinion, you abused the control and basically left him high and dry in that villa with a $5,000 damage bill that you caused. I'm sure a lot of it was your fault. But as a best friend of 17 years, you did not do your due diligence and do right by your friend. When in the beginning, he did right by you. It was because of him that you got in the villa in the first place and you were able to live there and your name wasn't on the lease. So you encouraged him to not work and then left him in a bad spot because he wasn't working. When you could have been kind and say, I want to go be with Natter or on my own. And I'm letting you know, it's like 6 months ahead of time. Go find another job, get some money going, put some money back. So when the time comes that I move on, you'll be okay. That's the right and decent thing to do.
I think it would be good for him, and he agrees. Like, he came up with this, but I agree with him, actually. He should look for any job anywhere in Canada. There's nothing. I said, anywhere you want to go in Canada, in the world, I will pay for you to get set up. Like, I will take care of him to get set up, and, like.
And she didn't. She didn't pay for him to move on. She didn't even probably help pay the $5,000 damage bill when she left. He just left him there to deal with it all himself.
Help him out, because he's helped me a lot in life. Like, before YouTube and everything. And when somebody does something really nice for me, I don't forget it.
But you also don't repay it back either.
So.
And Pete's is a person that he's not going to ask. He knows her temper. He's not going to walk up to Foodie and say, hey, that money that you borrowed, can I have it back? He's afraid to ask, and she knows it. She takes advantage of that.
I would really, really feel really good if I helped him set up a life. And what?
You know, if you gave Pete any help, it wouldn't be because you really want to help him and because it's the decent thing. You would do it because if you didn't do it and the chat found out, they'd be all up in your butthole about that. How could you do that to Pete? How could you leave him like that? You would do it because of public pressure, not because of a good heart.
He'll be happy with. I don't feel like he's happy here anyways. You know.
And this is her like just trying to make excuses. Oh, he's not happy here, so it's better for him to leave. And this is not the first time she had this conversation. There were other live streams that she did when she was parked in a park talking about Pete, saying, oh, he needs to be by himself. He'd be happy in a room. And all of this would come up when she really wanted to be with Natter. If Natter had not been in the picture, these conversations would not have happened. It's like she was bored with one guy and she wants to move on to the next. And yet when she's done with the next, who does she run back to? Pete's.
Emotionally dump. I talk to him as a friend. That's what friends are for. Right? I'm not getting married. I'm just saying. I think he would be happier. Like, he was looking at before at like some jobs in Winnipeg. Maybe he could meet up Winnipeg. Like, I want him to be happy. I want him to find a girlfriend.
She never wanted him to find a job while she was there, because that would mean he wouldn't be around to go fetch her food from the front door, or cat sit the cats whenever she wanted to go be with Natter for weeks at a time. She wanted him at her beck and call all the time. And if he had a job, well, that wouldn't be happening. So there was never any encouragement of him going to find a job and being independent while he was with her. She wasn't having it.
I want him to grow as a person. And I don't feel like with me he'll do that. No. Regardless, I'm still going to support Pete in any way I can. Until he can do it himself. You know?
And I wonder, Chantal, when you were having this conversation, you're talking to your audience. Did you ever talk to him about these things? Did you ever bring these things to him and let him know? No. You tell your audience first and then him second, and then even then you'd wait a while. It should be the other way around.
I'm not trying to send him away. He wants to do this.
No, you're trying to send him away because he's in the way of you being with Natter. And there was a lot of resentment and a lot of bitterness because you were in the house with Pete, and because Pete was there, you couldn't bring Natter over anytime you wanted, although because of Pete, you got the place, and without him, you wouldn't have been able to. You're resentful of his presence because it blocked you from being with a crackhead.
He doesn't want to stay in Ottawa because there's just really not much here for him. You know? Cats are mine. They come everywhere with me. BBJ is, yeah. Some cats live to be like 28, I swear. My aunt knew one. Oh, Nashi, I know.
And I just want to say this too. Every single thing in Chantal's life, she neglects, she abandons, and then she offloads when it becomes when she feels it's a burden or it's a block to getting something that she wants. She let go of BBJ and Sam. She looked at them as a burden, and she offloaded them to other people. Why? Because she wanted to go to the Kuwait and be with Salah. She wanted to offload Pete and get rid of him, and she looked at him as a burden when she wanted to be with Natter. And then ultimately, because of her wanting to be with Salah, she doesn't put value in people or things. She's always looking towards the next, the new fresh thing, the new fresh environment, the new fantasy, the new adventure. That's how she's able to let go so easily. People, places, things don't matter if it means she gets to pursue a new person, a new adventure, a new fantasy in her head.
Okay, but still encourage him when you and Az are on the outs, because when you are, it's always...
I mean, she doesn't even value friendship. Look at the way she's treated Pete. He's not a friend, he's a resource. This doormat to wipe her dirty feet on, and she goes running around the world chasing men that don't want her, and she comes back with muddy feet. She needs a doormat to wipe her dirty feet on and step on again.
Back to wanting to find a place with Pete. Yeah, I know what you mean, Misha. Actually, you're right about that. I think I have kind of taken advantage of the fact that Alex K. Sirnoff. I don't know, the red flags are gone now. This is scary. Sorta, yeah. No, I'm not afraid. But thanks for the super chat. But yes, you're right, Misha. I have to like keep that same energy, like regardless of what happens with us. Yeah, because he does deserve a better life than, yeah, for sure. And I want him to be more independent too, and me too. Like, you know, but.
And the funny part was, you're talking about, oh, I want to be independent too. You never found independence. You just found another place and another person, another environment to be codependent, because that's what happened. You went to Kuwait and you were codependent on Salah. You never found true independence there. You didn't get healthier either. Talk to me again about being independent. You were not independent with Bibi. You certainly weren't independent with Nader. You weren't independent around Pete, and you weren't independent around Salah, because you don't want to be. You want someone around to take care of you, to be your cheap, paycheck-free caretaker, errand runner, pet sitter. Kind of the same thing that Amber Lynn does. She has that system going too. You put yourself in a position where you can't do anything for yourself, or you can barely do anything for yourself, and then you look for a cost-free caretaker to take care of all this stuff that you don't want to do or you can't do. So you feel like the relationship angle is the way to go. Sucker somebody into some kind of relationship or friendship and take full advantage of it versus standing on your own 2 feet.
I don't ask him to do much. Look at Sam, please. What are you doing, Sam? Beezing. I know there's crumbs on the ground. What are you doing, Sam? Beezing. BBJ! Hi, BBJ!
Now, you don't take care of yourself. You didn't take care of your cats. You didn't take care of Pete. You didn't take care of your household. You didn't take care of your finances. Everything in your life got neglected. For what? For men that you were running after. For addictions that consumed you.
Look at her. She's so quiet. I forget she's here. She's so stealthy. You're my sweet angel from heaven above. I've had her since 2004.
Yep, and you didn't take care of her. Monster.
It's just been me and her against the world. And you and both. Oh, BBJ. Yeah. I'm gonna take her for sure to the doctor.
No, you didn't. And no, you don't.
I think she scratched her face. BBJ, do you want me to put you in my pocket and bring you everywhere? Is that it, BBJ?
Okay, I'm done. I don't want to see her giving fake love to BBJ. I don't want to see it. It's making me mad. So that's it for this react video, y'all. Just want to kind of spotlight the cycles of destruction going on with Chantal. And the flip-flopping and the back and forth. And I'm going to change. And I realize I have a problem. And yet she never treats the problem. She exploits her problem. She gives all of her addictions a job. Monetizes the crap out of them. And she looks for sympathy and funding from the audience to keep them all going. And so they shall continue as long as she's got this toxic machine going. One this has taken her years to build, and she's not going to abandon it. So hope you guys enjoyed this react. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. I will leave links for all the videos that I've used today down below in the description, and special thanks to all of them. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.